name's Phil Jones, and this is Phil Phails. And this is Phil Phails at Cycling. Yeah, everybody say hi. Wave to the camera.
Hey.
Which one?
We're now cameraing.
Yeah.
So the backstory for this is pretty quick. I started riding bikes with this group of guys on July 4th last year. So I had my anniversary riding with them about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And been riding with them pretty steady since then. And it's a big part of my fitness routine, big part of my life now, my community, my fitness, my spirituality sometimes. Yeah, when Rusty and I talk on the way home. Russell, yeah.
Either way.
And we're going to talk to you guys about cycling, about cycle culture. You know, we're going to basically talk about whatever comes up in the next couple hours. That's what's going to happen. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys all cool with that?
Yes.
For
very
sure.
much.
For sure. Maybe we just go around the table and everybody can introduce themselves to the people in those cameras. Starting with Tom.
Hey, Tom Sullivan. I've been working here about 2 years now, and been riding bikes my whole life. Fully enjoy it, and started working in the bike shop after I quit my construction job, and this is what I really love to do. And just kind of building that cycling community, and met all these fine folks through this shop and through Bicycle House. So I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. How many miles do you ride a week?
About 175-ish.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
And next, James, here, I'm going to give you the microphone so you can introduce yourself. Yeah. He doesn't have a microphone. He said he wasn't going to talk, but
He's forcing me.
He's going to
talk.
talking. He's talking.
Yeah.
James Balentine, it's my shop. Been doing bike shop stuff for 35 years, and it's the only thing I've ever done. So that's pretty much it. So it's everything I do.
Former A-Pro BMX racer.
Yes, in a previous life, yes.
Yes.
I did race professionally for a couple of years, but that was a very, very long time ago. So.
And now you work as a tech for
The Paralympics.
Oh, yes.
We want you to talk about yourself.
I figured that would come up, but yeah.
Tell them why you're awesome.
Yeah, I'm the Olympic mechanic for the paratriathlon team. Yes. Been working with them for 20-ish years. And yeah, do World Cups, Olympics, World Championships, that sort of thing.
You went to Rio.
Yes, that's the Olympics.
Well, okay, but how many Olympics?
Paris.
Yeah, the last three. So Rio, Paris, and Tokyo. Not in that order. I don't know what else.
Basically, the person who has the most experience is the most badass is the one who didn't want a microphone. I shouldn't have listened to that. I should have made sure you had a microphone, James. That's on me, so I'll probably be passing this in that direction quite frequently during this talk. The next up is Trevor.
Yes, I'm Trevor Meehan. I've known James since I was like 1 or 2. He's friends with my dad. So he got to watch me start racing BMX at 3. Started riding bikes at 2.5. No shame. No training wheels. So I was clipped in racing 5-year-olds at 3 on a BMX track. So yeah, did BMX, did mountain biking, did dirt jumps. And then I talked a lot of crap about all the people who would ride their bikes on the side of the roads. And I would roll down my window and say, "Hey, man."
Nice spandex.
Yeah, and I would make fun of all the roadies for a good percentage of my life. And then I started working for James, and then I started to understand why road bikes were so expensive. And then I went and did a road ride and absolutely fell in love with it. And now I just think that the mountain bikers are wusses for only being able to do 11 miles at a time. So when you go and crank out 100, it's like, yeah, all right, this is cool.
Mountain bikers are accepted in this community too.
We love
We
you.
like you. We want you to watch the show. And Trevor's just
Don't ride mountain bikes, yes.
you're strong riders. Okay, you're strong athletes. Don't listen to him. But listen to him.
So does this make you next, or did you already go?
My name is Phil Jones, and I'm the host of this show. Up next, Russell.
Hi, I'm Russell. I was an endurance athlete from like middle school and high school. I found cycling at like age 14. I had a lot of repetitive use injuries from running. But when I got on the bike, kind of everything started making sense. I got my first job in a bike shop at 15. They thought I was a college student. And then I kept working there and I fell in love with it. I'm culturally a roadie. I love road cycling. I've been shaving my legs since I was 15 years old. And this is like such an integral part of who I am. And I'm so excited to share it with Phil and to ride with all these guys and have a community here in Austin where we can ride together and have a great time every Saturday morning, sometimes during the week as well.
Yep. I lovingly refer to Russell as the bike daddy, and we'll talk more about that later. Up next, Tynan.
So I'm Matt Tynan. I'm a bike addict. And I've done no intention of recovering from that. Grew up playing all the traditional sports, and got the opportunity to try cycling really as actually rehabilitation for an injury. And I fell in love with it. I mean, it was the hardest thing I ever tried, and I was really not good at it. And it made me want to do it more. And 30 years later, I'm still riding everything with two wheels I can find. So, that's me. And
You've hosted seminars.
I've tried to do a little bit of everything. I'm a USA Cycling official. I've put on races. I have helped organize teams, raced when I can, led rides when I can, and if it has something to do with bikes, it makes me happy.
Done several 24-hour races.
I have.
Trevor's going to be our official
Yes.
horn tutor. Because some people don't want to toot their own horn. But they should. This is the place to toot your horn, Matt.
Well, yeah. So I've tried lots of different things, some crazier than others. And so, I did for a number of years, I did 24-hour solo mountain biking.
That sounds pretty hard, huh, Trevor?
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you were talking about the miles that road bikers ride?
Yeah, hold on. Listen, you got to understand.
Anyway, this is Matt's time. Go ahead.
No, I'm trying to brag about him.
Oh, brag about him.
He would get his food for his 24-hour races through a straw, and then he would come home with a callus, or what would you say it was on the inside of your mouth?
It's like a hickey, from using the Camelback.
From all the groupies that love those mountain bikers.
Yes.
Well,
No.
I'm going to suck all your calories through a straw for 12 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of ways that you can suffer on a bike and certainly learn a lot about yourself. And I think in a lot of different disciplines, you get that opportunity.
Do you have to be dedicated to what you're trying to achieve to be able to make your mouth suffer like that? Because you couldn't eat for like a whole day.
Well, I think whichever way you choose to suffer on a bike, there is the degree to which this sport is like welcoming to people who have the willpower and want to challenge themselves, and suffering is really intrinsic to it. And I think like when we go ride up hills, like the first time you do it, like first time you go and you face one of these steep hills, and you sometimes like when you drive around Austin, you see them, you're like, this is really steep, and the car starts to creak when you go up. And when you start like riding a bike, the first time you go up that hill, like you can't get up it. It's like, physically impossible.
You get off the bike and you walk at the last bit. I've done that.
But the beauty of the sport is like the more you like work at it and the more you sort of lean into that suffering and work your way through it, the more joy you get.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, one thing that we all like whether you're suffering like by eating all your food through a straw and getting like a callus on the side of your mouth, or through pedaling and you feel it in your legs, or going a really long distance, or pushing really hard over a short distance, this sport allows you to find ways of pushing yourself.
Heck yeah. How many miles do you ride a week?
About the same as Tom, around 175 a week.
You?
No clue.
I probably ride about 160, I think, now. What about you?
I go for 200.
Yeah, he goes for 200. James?
Not much. A pretty good week for me is 2 hours total. Is pretty good for me.
James rides 2 hours total.
And I think I have to jump in and just say that the reason that each of us can ride 175 or 200 miles or 160 miles or unknown is because James isn't riding, because he keeps us out.
Oh, yeah.
On our bikes.
We're shooting now today from the Bicycle House. It's a shop that's on Burnett Road, right next to Lamar Middle School. James has been gracious enough to provide us this space to have this discussion, but he's also been gracious enough to open a shop that allows this community to flourish around it. right? I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
For sure. I think like for me, local bike shops are the cornerstone of cycling communities and the sort of base of operations from which they grow. As somebody who like got brought into the cycling community through a local bike shop, when I first moved to Austin, like I was looking for a shop that was like going to be that hub of operations where the place that the group rides went from, the place where I could learn about the new products and the new things in this sport. And Bicycle House has really like provided that for me of like, this is like a place where I stop by here. There's always somebody friendly to talk to, whether it's like a mechanic who I'm bothering and taking away from meaningful work, or some other person who stopped by to loiter just like me. I'm always like happy to come by here. And I know that it's going to be like a warm, welcoming place where like, if I want to talk about bikes, people here will want to talk about bikes.
Yeah. I also loiter at the shop.
Yep.
Do you loiter at the shop?
I tend to loiter at the shop.
Yeah.
This side of the table is shop loiterers.
Yes. We're
And this side of the table is
professionals.
professionals that work here at the shop or own the shop.
We do work here.
So we got the loiterers. We didn't split that up, and they're all in black, and we're all in colorful clothes.
I'm not sure how that happened.
I'm not sure how that
We
happened
didn't
either.
even plan that.
No,
That's
but
funny.
that's how it is.
Yeah.
These are techs and working 24/7 in that environment.
Well, I think if you work with bikes, there's grease.
Yeah.
And if you wear clothes like this, they get ruined by the grease. So you wear black clothes so
Yeah.
that they don't get ruined.
Yeah.
Russell just solved the mystery of the black attire. Thank you.
Were you hoping it was going to be like a plot arc that we could work for the rest of the
Yes.
episode?
Yes.
Nope. Cut that off. Let's move on.
Yeah. We'll find another one.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some controversies. What do you think? Or
Yeah.
what are some controversies in cycling?
Shaved legs versus no shaved legs.
So originally, I wanted to look, guys. Originally, and I've been pitching this all week. I wanted us to shave our legs and wax our legs on the ship.
Right. Some of us have shaved legs and some of us do not.
Raise your hand if you have shaved legs. God, you do too, James?
Yes, I don't know why it's so hard.
And then raise your hand if you don't have shaved legs. Raise your hand if you felt peer pressure from those that have shaved legs to shave your legs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I did,
I mean, back when I first started, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So they want everybody to have shaved legs.
No. Untrue. I don't want everybody to have shaved legs. It is in many ways, like you can make decisions that are acts of commitment to a thing. And the act of like shaving your legs is this weird thing because there's gender stuff tied to it. It's not sort of like a normal thing that men do. But cyclists do. Mm-hmm. And the reasons, like we can get into all the reasons why people do shave their legs. But I don't want like any random Yahoo to shave their legs. But for me, when I'm walking around and I see somebody else with shaved legs and tan lines, I get to know that that person is as committed to the sport as I am. And I know that like in that moment, like whether it's in a grocery store or at a coffee shop or in some other country, that like that's a friend who like we have similar values. We wake up like to go ride bikes and we care about many of the same things. And so for me, it's about signaling to other people that I'm committed to this thing and paying respect in this sort of strange ritual that has its own drawbacks to this sport that I love. Also, nothing better than freshly shaved legs and fresh sheets.
Well, Russell also greases his legs when we ride, by the way.
That's untrue.
He puts a little grease on there.
Unless it's the winter and then there's specifics.
Well, they're always shiny. When we're riding, they're shiny.
I'm just trying to get sponsored by Gillette, so
But you wax your legs.
I waxed one time. I don't have the patience to do it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you shave your legs? Yeah.
You know, I wanted to do the things I saw that the better riders were doing. So when I was first starting, especially when I started mountain biking, but even mountain biking, and you see more unshaven legs in mountain biking. I mean, you see, more unshaven legs off-road, but I would see the guys who were, the pros winning races. And, they always had just like massive legs and they always had their legs shaved. And I thought, well, the one way to, kind of really commit, similar to what Russell said, is to, just dive in. So, and then it also, when you start getting a whole lot of tattoos, you want to show off your work. So
Matt's got some sweet tattoos, y'all.
It's all about the watts, is it not? This has not come up.
Yeah, let's talk about the watts, baby.
I mean, we're talking, 10 watts?
No, 15.
15 watts. And for the can we can explain to those in the studio.
Tell them about what are watts like, Tom? What does watt mean?
What are watts? So watts are what we need to produce speed, right? So what we produce with our legs, and there are things that slow us down, and we calculate that in watts. And a lot of that is drag, right? Drag on your clothes, your hair, and specifically leg hair. For some reason, there's a lot of drag there. So I think that's why a lot of folks claim reasons.
I'm of the opinion that the aerodynamic benefits of leg shaving are a complete myth.
Okay.
I think that people have run studies with like shaved legs versus unshaved legs.
In like one of those wind tunnels?
Yeah, and it seems to not really matter for a bike. When for swimmers, it matters a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But for our sport, for whatever reason, it seems to not really matter. Nonetheless, I still shave my legs.
Yeah.
And the reasons for that, like on the one hand, are like if you're gonna like ride a bike and then people take pictures of your legs, shaved legs look better.
He wants to look good, y'all.
The
It's a
muscle
vanity.
definition really talks.
However, there's like 27
you
different
can't see them.
videos of different wind tunnel tests where like they did like aero sock versus no sock versus shaved leg versus no shaved leg. And like the winning combination is aero sock with shaved leg. Like, and it was
Sure.
but it was tested at 20 miles an hour too. So like, it wasn't just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go for a stroll around the neighborhood. It was like, okay, you have to be putting in, okay, first of all, for anybody that's not aware, holding 20 miles an hour for 50, 70, 100 miles, it's hard.
It's hard.
It is not an easy thing to do. So that amount of energy and drag over, 5-6 hours it all adds up, like everyone says, like put $5 in your savings account for every week, and by the time that you retire, you'll be a millionaire. Well, okay, what if you ride 100,000 miles? How much energy did you save over the course of that?
Yeah, to kind of like really get clear about what we're talking about here. Fundamentally, the main force that you're pushing against when you're riding a bike is air. It's wind resistance.
Yep.
So we think a lot about the aerodynamics of a person on a bicycle and how to reduce the amount of drag, which is like the negative force that's slowing you down or decelerating you while you're riding. Your legs and like how fast you can ride is like the power input to the bike. And so they'll measure that, and as Tom mentioned, in watts. And then other things are measured in terms of like the reduction in drag coefficient, which is like, again, a watt measurement over a sort of standard thing. So if you look at these helmets, you'll notice that compared to like a regular helmet that you might get from the store, they're really smooth. There's not like too much frontal profile. You can see how the air would flow over them really smoothly. And that's because over years and years of iteration, they've made these high technology things so that they are slicker through the air so that you can ride faster with less effort, which means you can go further and have more fun. And so like there's a part of bike riding which is like going further and going faster and having a lot of fun at speed. And then there's also parts of bike riding that aren't really having anything to do with speed at all. Like a lot of my riding, and one of the reasons that I can't tell you how many miles I ride, is instead of getting all the metrics and computer stuff, I put the computer and I leave it at home and I just go doodle around and look at trees and try to get myself lost and wander around back, and I try to ride slowly. And that's part of where I find joy in the sport, is not just in the sort of like hyper optimization side of things, but in the sort of freedom to go wherever I want under my own power.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Good.
So we shave our legs? I got a question. Like, if I start shaving my legs, right, there'll be that time in between shaving legs and hairy legs when it's going to be a little stubbly.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I got a lady friend. Am I going to have to shave my legs every time I want to get close with my lady
So
friend?
I will say this: the thing that
You know what I'm talking about. You got a lady friend too.
That's a good question.
Phil, the thing that got me to shave my legs was a guy told me that his girlfriend really liked it.
Really?
Yes. Like two unshaved legs touching, nice. Or it's just like, sorry, two shaved legs touching, it's a nice, very, very soft feeling.
Okay.
The stubbly bits, like, yeah, it's stubbly, but there's, again, nothing better than like a freshly shaved leg. It's so smooth and nice. It's a sublime feeling.
So I got to let y'all know, Trevor is now tapping me under the table because we got to keep this PG, okay? We got to watch what we talk about, and we're going to, trust me, brother, I got you. We're not going to talk about anything weird or overtly.
Apart from a 30-minute discussion about leg shaving.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about sex. drugs,
I have to edit this out.
rock and roll. Can we talk about rock and roll?
You can talk about rock and roll. Let's talk tire width. What's your ideal tire width?
What's another commercial? Is that the next controversy? Have we solved the shaved versus unshaved leg controversy? James, what's your opinion? You've got a lot of cycling experience.
He shaves his legs. He
I
obviously is
do.
a shaver.
I have shaved since I was 13. So I started young. I've also been in a bike shop since I was 11. So, yeah.
Kidding.
It's really the only thing I knew because I started basically when leg hair started growing. So it's the only thing I've ever had. My wife does like it.
There you go.
So there's that.
I will say one more thing about not having shaved legs. When you do finally fall off your bike and tear your knee apart, the hair is not fun. It makes it harder to heal. It gets kind of gross.
Yep. Of all the reasons to like shave legs, the only one that really made sense to me was it's easier to clean out
like a
wounds
wound.
and gravel
Exactly.
wounds if you don't have hair in it.
Yeah.
Let me also just kick in because I'm the only single person here.
Oh, now you want to talk about all the sexy stuff now. He's like,
Like-
now I got the juices rolling.
I like the way I look with shaved legs.
For the ladies. You think the ladies,
No.
for you,
I look at myself, yeah.
you look at yourself and you think, I'm a bad MFer.
Like on Instagram, like when somebody like from a group ride posts a picture, I'm just like, all right, my legs look good there. Okay, I feel accomplished. Like that was okay.
You think the ladies like it too? You think the ladies like it?
Do it for the girls. I do for the boys. Let them know.
That's perfect.
Okay, Trevor. Okay. So this comes down kind of on the side of shaved legs. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just you and me.
I
I'll
definitely
try. I'll try.
don't have anything against it, and I'll probably do it.
We were going to shave our legs on camera.
yeah, we did.
But we didn't do enough production,
Oh.
pre-production.
It would take another hour to do that.
The reason why I started was because one ride we were about to turn on a stick, and your legs looked amazing, and I was just like, golly, I was like, I want my legs to look like that. And then one morning we were going out to Elgin, and you just looked like a bear. And I was like, I'm going home tonight. And sure enough, I spent the next hour and a half like just grooming myself. I was just like, I want to look like Russell. That's what I want to look like.
Russell's legs do look real good.
Yeah.
I've ridden behind him enough
Yes.
time now, and then there's a shine and a shimmer to it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, when your sweaty legs are glistening in the sun, I was just like, man, there is a lot of that.
Okay, and into that one. Next controversy.
All right.
Matt Tynan, do you not have a controversy that you'd like to bring to the table? I'm just going to go around and ask everybody to bring a controversy. Who brought the shaved versus unshaved legs? Was that you? Okay, Trevor's got one. Tynan, you got one?
All right, let's. Oh wow, should we do a current controversy?
Heck yeah.
Because we got a lot of those, a lot of differences there. Let's let's throw in bar width.
Bar width.
But along with that, you have to say the hood angles.
Yeah.
So that those go together. That's
U-
like
the
that's
UCI,
that's a combo.
Yeah.
That's a combo.
So you mind if I
yeah, set
Bring-
this
bring
up.
us into this?
What-
Yeah.
For all the people that don't understand what
right.
any of this is.
We're all gear nuts, and as part of the whole, how do you set up your bike in order to be fast, in order to be comfortable, in order to go through the air quickly? Currently, there is a debate within the cycling community about how wide your handlebars should be. The governing body of the sport recently weighed in and set a minimum handlebar width because people were going narrower and narrower and narrower to try to lower their frontal profile.
to get more arrow.
Yes. We say aero, which is essentially less watts
Aerodynamic.
means they go faster.
To get more aerodynamic.
But because they were getting really narrower, there was worries about their ability to steer, and so they set a minimum width.
Yeah, this is the bar. This is the bar, also known as the cockpit, right? They call it the cockpit.
Part of it.
Yeah,
It's part of the cockpit.
cockpit would include controls.
It includes
Just a piece of
This is a piece of the cockpit. So we're talking about the width of this.
Right. So what they're saying is in the old days, like they would say, like, oh, you want something roughly the size of your like shoulders so that you can open up your diaphragm and breathe better. But now, as we have a better understanding of aerodynamics, they're moving things narrower and narrower because your frontal area matters a whole lot more. This was sort of brought into the modern discussion by a guy named Adam Hansen, who was racing for a team called Lotto Soudal. He was one of the first people to run 38 centimeter center to center handlebars, because he was doing a lot of the work on the front of the big racing group, which is called a peloton. So he was spending most of the time out in the wind, and in order to like be more efficient doing that, he got a really aerodynamic setup, and a lot of the modern discussion has come from that.
Peloton is French for group or main group.
I don't know what the translation is.
I know that it's group. That's
Let's
why-
stay on topic. We'll get into Peloton trend.
This is like something important. Like,
Okay,
a lot of
okay.
people, like,
Okay, my
like the Peloton, like, you know, the indoor trainer thing. with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
screen.
Peloton?
Yeah, like it's called onepeloton.com.
Okay.
Because it's one group and you're supposed to ride as a group.
Okay.
I didn't know that until I already had one.
Yeah, so one of the main reasons that we all ride together is because of the aerodynamic savings of riding with other people.
Yep. Drafting.
So when you're sitting behind somebody, you have an enormous energy savings, allowing you to go at a lot higher speed with a lot less effort just by sitting directly behind somebody.
Yep.
And so when you see these big groups of cyclists on the road, it's because like that whole group can go a lot farther, a lot more comfortably, and a lot safer than one rider can alone. That big group, that when it starts to get to a certain size, becomes something called like a peloton, which is essentially just a large group of cyclists who take turns sitting at the front, eating the wind, in order to like let the group go.
Yep. What's your position on this? On the ruling, Tynan? What do you think? Should they let them be really skinny? Should they or really narrow, or should there be?
First of all, what's your bar width?
So I ride 44 millimeter wide bars, which is
that
it's very out of fashion now to ride bars.
is it
that
narrow or is it wide?
That would
It's
be on
wide.
the wide.
It's
Okay, that's a wide bar.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it's not an aerodynamic setup. I find it comfortable. I like the leverage I have on wider bars. You know, and it's kind of difficult. I definitely understand the basis for saying there needs to be some standards, because you do see in bicycle technology, like most technology, there's always an innovator pushing the limits on what can be done. And yeah, that's the nature of sport. You're always trying to push the limits of equipment. But then you do get to a tipping point where safety does become an issue. I don't agree with the rule, though.
Yeah.
The way that they put it in, I think it's short-sighted, because the minimum width they have doesn't really accommodate a lot of riders. A lot of riders in the pro men's and women's pelotons. It just doesn't. And I wouldn't say that there don't need to be regulations for equipment, but I don't think that the proposed regulations as they stand now are really functional.
Is that because of the diversity in shoulder width?
Oh,
And so there could
absolutely.
be a normal shoulder width, like that wasn't super narrow, that would be more narrow than they allow.
Sure. Well, I think the biggest area of controversy is for female riders who tend to have much narrower shoulders, prefer a much narrower bar. When the proposed rule came out, limiting bars to, I believe it was 38. That was a huge portion of women's riders in the pro ranks, and just bikes that fit women that didn't come equipped with bars that wide. From the manufacturers, it was a really limiting number. I mean, the metric that they picked was just, I think it was an error. And so while I will say I understand regulations for some equipment and, bars if they can show a real necessity for it, I think you have to pick numbers that actually reflect the users, to accommodate a majority, at least within that bell curve of what people are currently riding.
So maybe a bar width for women and a bar width for men, like a separate.
It could
I think
be.
more appropriate for the actual use case.
Yeah.
Like, we're all average cyclists, fairly normal builds, but like we would all ride, fairly wide-ish bars. Most pro cyclists, men and women, are on the smaller side. Most of the pro men are pretty tiny guys, like 5'6", 5'7", maybe, 120, 130 pounds. They're all pretty tiny because that's kind of what helps make you a very, very
They
good
also
pro
like
cyclist.
tend to have really narrow shoulders.
Yeah. So they're just small. That's just kind of a physical attribute that makes them a very good cyclist. But because of that, they're small. They need smaller bars. I know that somebody measured all of the bar widths at whatever the last event, I guess it would have been the tour. Currently, every single pro women in the tour would have been having a legal setup. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
So that means every single woman will have to ride a bar if it's too big for them.
Because it's not just the bar width, but it's also the angle of the control, right? That they're also measuring that as well.
Yeah, so it is a combination of not just the bar, but the distance between the hoods, which are your shifting mechanism.
Right.
A lot of ergonomics and fit suggest that a more comfortable position is to slightly cant or turn your hoods in, which further narrows the distance between the hoods. So if you have your hoods turned in, some people do it to an extreme degree, some just slightly, whatever it fits a person, you're even reducing that bar width further.
Right.
And doing that, I mean, if you're already talking 100% of the women's peloton, anyone who's having any sort of turn or cant to their shifter, I mean that, yeah. I mean, if you did that, you'd probably say a large majority of the men's peloton wouldn't meet the regulations either. And if you're doing that, I mean, if this is and we're talking about a UCI rule, which is the international licensing body. So this isn't for something like you can't go buy this bar and you can't go on a group ride with any bar width you want. This is really impacting people who are racing, although it does trickle down to what manufacturers produce, because obviously if none of the pros can ride something, they're not going to make it.
This seems like it's transitioning from a controversy to beef with UCI. But I imagine we all agree here.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Maybe
Yeah,
it's interesting thing, instead of like taking the specific case of like handlebar width to sort of move towards like there exists this global like governing and sanctioning body called the UCI, who is like runs and is responsible for all the rules that govern pro racing.
And we've got beef with you.
Well, not necessarily. I don't think necessarily beef, but the question is for local riders who are participating in group rides, to what extent should we like uphold or maintain these rules for the sport that we're all like kind of participating in? So
Yeah, we don't want you to control us.
so for example, like there is a UCI rule, which is you cannot start a UCI sanctioned road race without sleeves.
Yeah, and that stinks.
I like that rule.
Russell likes that rule.
Some of the rules are silly. Some of the rules are deliberately in place to slow us down. Some of the rules are in place to keep bikes looking a certain way and not too crazy. There was a guy who was one of the reasons that I got into the sport, Graham O'Brien, who invented lots of new ways of holding himself on the bike.
Can't we just have some beef, Russell, with them?
I mean, you're more inclined to beef than I am, and there's a reason for this.
I also call him the diplomat.
Well, one thing
He's got a lot of names. One of them is the diplomat.
One thing which I learned about through riding a whole lot is the more that like I'm able to keep myself calm, the more energy I save. And so
Watts, baby.
watts, and also keep my heart rate low and keep energy up for a finale. I used to race a whole lot, and I like to save all of my energy for the very last bit.
Okay, hold on. Trevor, can we beef with them? Russell won't let me.
I'm actually on the side of the UCI.
What? I thought we were all in agreement here.
As much as I like narrow bars, I think 38 should be the limit. Because the narrower and narrower that you go, the faster and faster the turning response is. And like, if somebody were to reach down and grab a bottle and just move a little bit, then you put other riders in jeopardy. You put their safety in jeopardy. I think that more control and more stability on the bike equals less crashes.
I asked the wrong person for beef.
Yeah, you did.
He agrees with the rule. Do you agree with the rule, James?
I agree with the theory of the rule, but not the specific numbers they picked. I think it should be more of like a percentage of your actual body size. I don't know what that exact
Yeah.
would be, but yeah.
And what I think is going to happen is the UCI is not going to implement this rule like as it is now. I think they're going to adjust it because everybody's freaking out about this rule in the pro cycling world.
We're certainly freaking out.
I think it is probably going to be more like what James is saying. They're going to say, okay, if it'll be based on your size, which I think is fair.
I don't think that's fair.
No? Okay.
No, I mean, like,
Hold on. Let's arm wrestle for this one.
sure, no, but like,
Russell doesn't think it's fair. Tom thinks it's fair.
so I swam as a young child.
I swam.
As a result of
I
that,
swim as an adult.
physiologically, I have a lot wider shoulders. This means that like I have like an innate higher drag coefficient just because of my shoulder width.
Yeah.
I put a lot of work into like getting myself able to like tuck my shoulders up really tiny and small, and like as a result, like I constantly have to stretch my back to do that.
Yeah.
I like the idea of riding narrower bars, and I put a lot of work in to be able to like hold that position. Somebody who just happens to have narrow shoulders, if they get to ride different equipment than I get to ride, then like, what did I do all that work for?
What size bars are you running?
I ride 40s. And the only reason I ride 40s is because when I tried to order 38s at the previous shop, they thought that was too ridiculous.
Just so you know,
Let's have beef with that previous shop then.
I do know everybody's bar width in this room, so I'm just trying to.
What's my bar width?
You are running a 42, sir.
Dang.
Right in the middle.
44, 40, 42, 39, 39,
39.
44 on some bikes, 42 on some bikes. Yeah, it depends. He likes white bars.
Trevor's keeping tabs on it's
But I definitely think that the rule that's governing like men's bar widths and like should not be like also applied to women. Like I think that there was people pushing the limit and going narrower and narrower, and examples of people running like 36s or 33s or really like goofy narrow things that sort of started to get into this area where instead of having like bars that they could steer with, they were sort of just tucked in like this. And we know that this you can't really steer that way.
What about the safety thing that Trevor was talking about? The safety thing.
Right, for sure. Like I totally think that there's like an amount of safety, but I don't think that it's like if I happen to have really wide shoulders, but I'm good at steering with narrower bars, that should be okay. Yes, I'm okay with there being some limit, and the limit should be like proportionate to like the size of the people riding. But like the women's peloton certainly should not have been given a regulation that was meant to curb the speed of the men's peloton.
That's kind of what I was referring to. Like the women are clearly smaller.
Yeah, because we had to have a customer. Well, I didn't send her to Europe. She went to Europe and got fit, and they acted like it was no big deal, but they sized her for a 34 bar. And she brought that back, and I'm like, how did you get this? Because we can't get this here. And so, but I went and rode around in the parking lot, and man, it was tight. It was real. I mean, it was really like compact and stuff. The cool thing is like, yes, okay, first of all, I want to make sure that the people know that you are a very muscular, used to play football, like at a really elite level.
Matt is muscular.
Matt is.
Take off your shirt, Matt, and flex for the guys and the gals out there.
Matt runs a wide bar because he has a lot of muscle definition, and that's what makes it comfortable.
Yeah.
So you totally fit. It's not
It's a
because-
muscle man.
It's a nice way to call me a fat cyclist.
No, saying you're muscly.
No, it was the guy that was running 48s on the sidewalk that I was like, did you clear that with like, takeoff and like the flight command? No.
We're talking about contraband bars now, coming back from Europe. You Europeans are sending your contraband bars over here.
But yeah, I mean, it was it was very like, if I think left, like it's already too late. I've already gone left.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so let's say we're going 30 miles an hour down this section of trail that we have in Austin that has handrails on the right-hand side.
Talking about Little Walnut Creek Trail.
Right. No one else is going to know that. But there is a downhill sidewalk with handrails and then a concrete wall to your left. So it gets to where it's about a bicycle width this way and a bicycle width this way. People are climbing and people are descending. And you're going to tell me that the safest option for you is to make it to where everything is as tight and nimble as possible, to where any input that you give is going to directly correlate to
Big, yeah, I see what you're saying.
to where
The
now
more narrow, the more
The
when
quicker.
you turn it, you get
The
more.
quicker.
It's more responsive.
It's more responsive.
yes. So
That's going to take a real professional or someone who's understands how to do that.
So
you wouldn't want to give that to a
what-
novice.
what kills people? It's not the speed; it's the suddenly stopping.
Oh.
So if you hit that handrail at 21 miles an hour, it's not going to feel good. And then it's what's on the other side. Where does your body go after that? So
Great beyond.
there's actually, for instance, there's about 5 feet of grass on the right hand side, and then there's a giant rock garden for water runoff, or there's the concrete to the left. So, I mean,
Maybe it's a good time to talk about like why we're so concerned about safety in this sport.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's just shut down this discussion. Just tidy it up into a bow.
Yeah.
Beefing with the UCI. I know they're not all on board with that, but I'm cool with that. We're beefing with y'all. Here's why. You're not going to tell us what to do. We're going to do what we want to do because America. And that's just what's up. If you don't like that, then I don't know. That's comedy. I'm kind of joking. Obviously, there's a lot of points here at the table about the UCI rules, and there's differences of opinion. But most people here, except for in this area, believe in some flexibility of these widths of the bar. Yeah. Rusty wants to talk about.
I think to segue from the UCI discussion, the reason the UCI puts rules in place is for rider safety.
Yep.
And the reason that like there's such a focus on rider safety because this is an inherently dangerous sport.
This gets us into my first nickname for Russell, which is Bike Daddy.
I thought you were going to say Jasper Phillipson. I was just like, dude, that's not. He hasn't. What? Okay.
His nickname was Jasper Phillipson?
Yeah, when you said the safety, I was just like, dude, I thought we were about to talk about the worst crash that we've seen in years.
With Jasper Phillipson?
Yes.
No, I don't want to talk about that. He was on my fantasy Tour de France, and he got the first stage, and then he hurt himself on the third stage, and I was
No,
devastated.
he didn't hurt himself.
Well, he crashed. Anyway,
No,
we're getting off
somebody
topic.
Hurt him because
Yeah, well, he crashed,
There.
and he was
Riding bikes is dangerous. People crash.
He's our bike daddy because when we're on group rides and folks do dangerous things, because they do. I've done a bunch of group rides in town now. Not a bunch, 2 or 3 or 4, something like that. And all group rides are different. Group rides benefit from having a bike daddy. Russell is our bike daddy. A bike daddy is someone who has eyes and a mouth, and someone who sees unsafe behavior and gives feedback. What? Nothing?
go
all have
continue.
that.
What's happening? But they use it.
Eyes in a mouth. Okay.
But they use it. Like I've been on group rides where people just don't say anything, and there's a bunch of wild behavior going on, crossing the 2 yellow lines, going into oncoming traffic, just doing all kind of wild stuff. I am guilty of those stuffs. I've done those things. And then Bike Daddy comes up at the end of the ride or in the middle of a ride or from the back of the group and yells something about what I did.
cross the double yellow line.
Everybody, single
You
file.
remember when he first joined, and we were just like looking at his wheel before we trued it, and we were like, don't ride there because that wheel is just like, it's like it's gonna blow up.
Yeah, so I came to this shop ride with a surly long haul trucker on the July 4th. A buddy of mine, Brian Moad, out there. Love you. He's not dead. Did that seem like a?
It did.
He's not dead.
It seemed like you were.
He's fine.
I love you in your living state. He's alive now. He didn't.
Yes,
not
he's
dead.
very much.
Brian Mudd, good friend of mine. He invited me. Showed up in a surly long haul trucker with all the metal.
The rack.
The racks.
You had a boombox.
I had a boombox.
The speakers.
I played the boombox when I got dropped. I got dropped. I was like, I'm putting the jams on.
It's the TSNR.
He had the frame bag, the boom box, the
Front?
the front rack,
a full
the rear
backpack.
back,
Full backpack.
Full of
water.
groceries.
and then he played music.
I was playing rap music, y'all. There were cuss words. I'm sure they were saying the N word in there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Like that for
I can say the N word. I didn't say
for
the
sure.
N word. I just said the N word. That's the thing I can say.
you have a shaved head. I'm pretty sure you can't.
Hey, look.
Get close to it.
safety.
I'm not racist.
All right, we are getting off topic.
Safety.
We're
Okay, anyway, like I'm saying, I came to the shop ride with a lot of behaviors that were probably unsafe. I didn't know how to ride in a group, and I don't think it's something that's normal for folks. I don't think you come out of the womb knowing how to ride with people in a group, knowing where to sit in a group of riders, sitting on a wheel, knowing, what happens when you go fast, feathering brakes, knowing there's a lot of things. And Bike Daddy tells me those things when I need to be told them in a voice that it's kind of acceptable to take in the feedback of, because it reminds me of my stepdad, who was really mean. It's familiar.
We're opening a lot.
So when I was a baby,
The wound.
anyway, let's talk about safety. I'm being honest, though. This is true. Russell does, in my opinion, do a good job, as do everybody here. But Russell kind of takes that role in a way that I haven't seen other folks.
So, I mean, the first thing that I want to bring up is that there's riding a bike anywhere that we ride is on open roads with cars and traffic and pedestrians. And that inherently makes it dangerous. And riding by yourself is dangerous because you're one thing and there's a big speed differential and power differential and weight differential between you as a lone rider on a bicycle and a big car made of metal that's got an engine in it. Riding by yourself is scary, especially the further you get out away from people who are used to seeing cycling traffic. One of the reasons that I really enjoy group riding is because I feel a lot safer in a larger group of people, because visually it's a lot more and it's easier for drivers to see, and it takes up more of the road. And that means that we can take a full lane and we can protect each other by sharing our sensory data. Someone in the back can call out when cars are coming. Somebody in the front can look ahead and see where cars are pulling out in front of us. They can point out things in the road that one rider by themselves might not see. And so we're all sharing our sensory data and letting each other know what's going on around us. But riding in a group is also dangerous. And part of what I try to do on a group ride is to share all of the little, whether you call them tricks or whether you call them best practices or rider discipline, that makes it even safer to ride in a group. Because when you have two people riding close next to each other, there's tons of stuff that could go wrong. If one person moves to avoid a pothole and bumps into somebody else and their wheel is overlapping, that can cause a big crash. And this is, again, even the professionals who ride all of the time together crash. It's a dangerous sport. People die in this sport on a yearly basis. And when you hear other people talking about concussion protocols, and we still have people dying in this sport. And that's because of cars, and that's because of freak accidents, and the fact that we're all going up to 60 miles an hour in basically our underwear down the side of that mountain.
I'm not going 60. Have you gone 60? You went 59.8.
No. I hit 60.
You get 59.8 is what it said on Strava.
Strava adjusts the hammerhead, the actual GPS tracking unit said 60 miles an hour.
I don't know. I'm going with Strava on this one. What do you think?
Strava.
Strava's at 50.
Strava versus is Strava real data, or is it?
Okay,
is
but
it,
also from my power meter on my branch, I have seen 1600 watts when I'm actually when I go to sprint, and then I go back to Strava and it's you hit 1100. I'm like,
it does the same thing to me.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
No. And
I think that your top speed of your lifetime is 59.8. Let's discuss. Do you think Trevor gets the 60? He wants it bad. You want it
It's
bad?
not on Strava, it didn't exist.
That's right. So what James say?
If it's not on Strava, it never happened.
That's right. What'd Strava say, Trevor? That's the look of betrayal.
It says that.
That's a betrayed man there. All right, let's go around. What do you think his top speed is, Tom?
I mean, I think I did mention that I usually go with the Strava.
It's okay, bud.
Because I've experienced the same thing where it's man, I averaged 18 miles an hour on that, that solo ride to Elgin, and then I log into Strava and it's 17.7.
Yeah, but you're I'm just kidding.
Shots fired.
Fair enough.
I'm just
Speaking of slow,
I ride with you. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, Strava does change the data a little bit.
sounds like a 59.8 from Tom,
No, he said Strava changes the data a little bit.
but he says he goes with Strava.
I mean, I can't argue with it, I guess is my point, because that's what's recorded and that's what's in the books.
I do have a picture.
Right, but it's in the history books.
The history books say 59.8.
That's why I said go for 62, because then you'll get 60.
I'd say either way is over 100K.
That's
No,
true.
62 is 100K.
100K.
Yeah.
Okay, I bet you've gone 100K.
You giving it to him?
Sure, I don't care.
Like,
Let's not ask Russell any more questions about this. Tynan.
Is my number over the arbitrary number threshold? What a fun game.
Well, he cares about it. That's where their passion lies.
On many occasions, I have been behind Trevor descending, and watching him descend is terrifying.
Yeah, it's
True.
So I'm saying that it's a 60.
Yeah, Trevor.
We don't need
Tynan,
to
give it a 2.
further.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going.
That's a good.
You're going big fast, Trevor. So big
only
fast.
to like not encourage him to push it more because it's scary.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you do go fast.
Yeah. I'm.
I mean, you definitely got us all beat, so that's fair
yeah.
to say.
Fine,
I'm not speaking for James on this because you made
It's
it
not
sound
working.
faster.
It's not. He just said he's buying different wheels and gonna hit
ceramic
62.
speed bearings.
Anyway,
Or you could do the UCI illegal super tuck.
we'll have to go to Europe for that.
I don't want to do that.
We'll go to Europe, get those bars.
The super tuck is so in actual cycling sport. No, you can't drop your waist below the saddle and sit on the
The
top.
super tug is on the top too.
Yeah.
The super tuck is
Sitting
like,
on the top.
It sounds comfortable.
No,
It's
it's not.
very
as
dangerous.
soon as you
They always be facetious
sacrifice a lot.
Yeah.
Of comfort.
Yeah,
for the speed.
it is. It is
It's
fast.
illegal for a reason.
Yeah.
So safety's important, y'all. And when we ride in a group, there's a lot of things that can happen that could. I've wrecked this year since July 4th. I had a wreck. I hit one of those darn turtles that they put the.
Not a live turtle.
I didn't hit a live turtle, y'all. I wouldn't do that. I hit one of those road turtles.
Yeah.
Separate the bike lane from the car lane.
Yeah.
What do they call them? Like
They're like the little half sphere mounds that sit in between bike lanes and car lanes.
I call them turtles.
They're extremely dangerous.
They're extremely dangerous because they come unadhesed. Is that a word?
Did you get that name from Mario Kart?
Probably.
Oh, okay. Cool.
They become
Except they
unmoored. They come
Yeah.
separated from the ground.
Yeah.
And they sit in the middle of the bike lane. And sometimes I'm, looking off at something like a birdie or
Talking.
talking. For me, it's a social sport, Trevor.
Yes, I know.
He gives me a little crap about my talking, and so does this one. We'll talk about that later. Since it's ironic that he would give me crap for talking. You know what I'm saying?
Why is it ironic?
Because you are a talker. You like to talk too, but not when you're riding.
I like to talk when I'm riding. I also like to
gives me-
ride while I'm riding.
He gives me crap for it. But back to safety.
I let you talk a lot.
Yeah, he does let me talk a lot.
I do not.
I put up with a lot of talking, even though I
What
could
put up? What does put up mean? I sang a song for you.
Yeah, I did not enjoy that song that much. No, but Phil, what I'm saying is like
I thought it was a good song.
you are really good at projecting.
Yes, that's right.
And that has its benefits, and then also sometimes its drawbacks.
That's
And-
right.
And I appreciate you,
For the benefits.
and I'm glad to have you on the ride,
That's right.
even when you annoy me.
That's right.
Because the benefit of riding with somebody, I think, supersedes any amount of annoyance that can come out of that person. And I'd rather ride with you and be annoyed the whole time than not ride with you.
That's love, y'all.
Sometimes would I prefer
I want to see.
If there was
see
less.
just how fast and hard you can go. Well, that's not okay. I just want to see how fast you can go. I knew that there would be some moment that I regretted being on here.
Yeah.
That was it.
You want to see?
I guarantee you there is an edit
Yeah.
between talking about
No, we're
Tom's
not-
legs, Barry legs.
We're not editing any of this, y'all.
My legs.
You want to see how fast and hard I can go, huh?
Yeah, there's gonna be a
I
whole
want-
greatest hits.
I do want to see
Segment.
how good of a cyclist you can be by pushing yourself, because I think then you're a lot better than what you've ever.
I'm gonna keep.
out there.
I'm gonna keep going stronger, and I'm gonna keep going harder, because
Well, let's talk about your cycling.
no,
journey.
what about my cycling journey?
Yeah, this is Phil Phails.
Okay,
right?
let's talk
Like,
about it. Let's talk about it.
Talk about where you started.
I started-
How you felt on the bike, how you felt relative to the group, and where you feel now.
I started on that Surly long haul trucker.
He used to leave his bikes outside.
I did used to leave. I don't leave. I got a little altar.
What have you learned?
I got a bike altar now in the house. So here's the progression, the cycling progression. For me, started with the Surly long haul trucker, and I did that a couple times with everything on it. All the
What's that bike for people who
accoutrement. It's like a tank. It's like meant for. It's like it would be like driving a
On
tank
wheels.
in a sports car race, like a
compare-
F-150 and taking a Hummer on it.
Compared to the bike that these guys at Bicycle House set you up with, what's the difference between the old bike and the new bike?
It's lighter. It's a lot lighter. It's the ergonomics, like the geography or geometry of it. Geometry. That's the word. Yeah.
Yep.
It's different. I think I'm down more aerodynamic. Like my position when I'm riding is different.
Yes.
I don't have all the special words that you guys on this side have. And this side.
Gear ratios?
The gear ratios are different. But it didn't start there. It started with me taking the racks and stuff off.
Right. We're
That was the first thing I did, shedding weight.
Yeah.
And then I rode that for a while, but I still couldn't keep up. We have a sprint section that's about, 2 miles?
2.6.
And I would try really hard, and I would never be able to keep up with the guys or the guys and gals, or anybody on the ride during the sprint section. I would get dropped every time during the sprint section.
And you would always pull up and be like, that dang dog. He used to talk about the dog every time.
There was a dog. There was a dog that would run after me on the sprint
I
section.
was just like, just pedal.
He was a little faster than me too.
You need to
Do you
be able to
consider
ride
that
faster
dog
than
your
the bike.
first coach?
Yeah, that dog. He's definitely motivating me. He seemed surly, and I was riding to surly. That's probably he felt some,
Right.
So that was the first thing, was shedding weight, but that didn't get me there. And I asked Tom, like, how come I'm not able to catch up with these people? And Tom would say, like, well, they have bikes that are specialized towards this kind of thing. And what was the next step in the evolution, the bike
I
evolution?
did have to tell you to quit bringing the stereo because you can't hear when somebody audibly makes a safety comment.
Okay.
Well, I got dropped so much, I'd be lonely out there. And so I'd want to put on a podcast or maybe some Kendrick Lamar.
But on the trucker, you were very upright.
Oh, yeah.
Like you sat straight up on that thing, and you were like a sail in the wind.
Yeah.
Right. So until you were able to get down, and you couldn't really do that on the trucker. It's just the geometry it wasn't
And
conducive.
you had to move your
And
all
that
the
thing
way
was
over
40
here.
pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very heavy.
And I had a backpack where the water was.
in the backpack. So you shed the backpack.
Well, that was way later. I didn't shed the backpack until the red bike.
Oh, that's right.
Because the next step, I got rid of all the.
When was the first time you put on spandex?
That's a good question. That was definitely a stage in evolution.
That's because of him.
Yep, this man here donates his spandex.
Actually, can we first say thank you just to how much he has actually donated to the cycling community?
Oh, absolutely.
Donated
Actually,
many
not
things.
only to the people in this room, because I only have cycling kit because of you, Matt. So thank you.
Me too. All my kid is Matt.
too.
And
Yeah.
him, but also anybody that has ever been in need that has come into this store that is unable to afford said kit. Very first thing I do is go back there and I'm just like, look, this was donated to us
Yeah,
by
you have
Matt
no
Tynan. You have
idea
no idea
how
how
many
many
people-
people come in and thank us
Yeah.
because of you. And Reed thanks you because he didn't even have a set of bibs. I went and got him a set of bibs and jersey, and I said, I don't care if you buy a bike from us or not. In order for you to be able to enjoy the sport, this is what you need. And I told him that it was from a guy and he hadn't met you yet or whatever. So he.
Did you tell him about how muscly he was?
No, but
From a muscly guy?
he has many times come in here and hugged us and said, thank you for changing my life.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Because we were able to bring him in. He came in, bought a bike. Now he's buying a gravel bike. Now he's talking about doing the next road bike and everything. You have changed so many people's lives and perspectives from this sport. And I'd never leave your name out. They just haven't met you yet, but you have. So thank you to you. That is, I think that huge thank you to you.
Yeah.
Here.
Well,
I agree.
And that makes me feel great because there were so many people who helped me to that position. I mean, that's the great thing about cycling is there's always someone, whether it's whatever you're whether you're a kid or I didn't start riding bikes till I was older. And there were always people either who were taking you on rides or showing you how to ride better. Your bike daddies on your rides. People giving you kit, helping you set stuff up. So it feels really good to be able to give back, and to be part of that, for more people getting into it. Because I don't think there's anything, and I bet this is shared for those of us who have ridden for a long time. Nothing feels better than getting a new person into the sport.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like nothing feels better than that.
Yeah.
And what I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
Seeing you come out on that July 4th ride and seeing you now on like
The hills ride.
crushing the hills ride.
Yeah.
That I was really hopeful with everyone that we met on our group ride. I was really hopeful everyone would stick with the sport. But I can tell you on July 4th, I could not have seen you coming out and riding the way you do now.
Yeah.
It's certainly not in this short of period.
Definitely.
Showing up for the
Yeah.
hills ride.
Yeah, I mean it.
Constantly staying with the group after the sprint.
Yeah,
Like taking initiative, reminding people of what turns are coming up, reminding people of potential hazards such as poles in the middle of the sidewalks to keep cars off and stuff. And yes, you half wheel, which we're working on.
but you remember,
Hold on, what's a half wheel? Bike Daddy, tell him what a half wheel is.
Half wheeling is when you sit on the front and you put your wheel a little bit in front of the person next to you, and then overall the pace of the group starts going because the two people in front are the idea is you want to ride next to somebody, even with your bars next to them. But if you ride a little bit in front of them, then that tricks them into riding a little bit harder, and then you ride a little bit harder, and then all of a sudden the group's going 25 miles an hour and nobody knows why.
Remember Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to now that we know what half wheeling is.
so we were talking about your journey.
Yeah.
And you remember one thing I told you when you came out and you did my impromptu hill ride, and we rode all through Westlake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you came and you slid and you almost ate it.
Oh yeah. I almost died, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched him fishtail for 15
I
minutes.
almost died
Yeah.
going down Red Bud. It was bad to Westlake.
Yeah.
There was a stop sign. You come around a blind corner and then there's a stop sign, and I was going way too fast. And I hit the brakes and my back wheel locked up, and I started fishtailing around. I let the brakes off. I was like, okay, it stopped locking up. But then I started going fast again. And so I pulled on them again and I did the same thing again. And I thought I was going to die. I really thought I was going to die.
And when you told me that, I said you had earned a merit badge, because that's an experience that in your cycling journey, everyone's gonna have that first fall. Everyone's gonna have that time, they fall over at a stop sign or a stoplight because they can't clip in. Everyone's gonna do the first 100-mile ride.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna get that, be stranded somewhere with a mechanical and have to call for help. I think you've been there too. Yeah.
Thanks, Jennifer.
So, yeah, as you're, it's just great to see someone ride with us and go through some of those steps.
Yeah.
And get to see that. Not that we wanted to crash, but that was a good one to survive like a scary situation. Kind of what we call a pucker moment,
Yes.
and to come out okay on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to, I feel a little emotional and emotional this talk, and I want to put the tension a little bit back on the community and Tynan as well, and the bike shop.
Yeah.
When I was riding, it came to a time, like I've been doing this show for probably a year and a half, and I haven't been working in software, and so I don't make any money. So I've been very frugal, I tell my daughters we're on austerity measures, right? I don't buy things that I don't need. And I would ride every Saturday, and there came a time where you were there. My tire was just shredded. Remember?
Yeah.
On that ride, my tire was just, it had tire rot and it was just shredded.
Which time?
The last time, in the wintertime.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got home and I was just like, I'm just not going to ride bikes anymore. I'm just going to run for my exercise because I'm not going to go and buy tires.
Yeah.
And so I didn't show up for the ride for a little bit. And I don't remember who it is, but someone reached out and
I messaged you on Strava.
Yeah.
You hadn't looked at Strava for a long time.
I had looked at Strava and he had messaged and said like, we got some tires for you, dude.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's so hard.
It's not because I was lazy. I didn't have his phone number.
But
That was the only way to get in contact with you.
what I'm getting at is that there was a caring and I was a part of something that I didn't realize. I thought, I'm just going to run now. But I had plugged into something that it seemed like I mattered to.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I would happily put some money to stop someone from having to run.
Yes.
Running's really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's just where it started. It was like, hey, we got some tires. And it was hard for me to come up here and take tires. I emailed James and was like, hey, dude, can I just do some videotaping for the shop in exchange for some stuff? And that was probably, you were like, I got to talk to my partners, because I was thinking, like, I don't know how to keep doing this. But I didn't need to do any of that stuff, because the community kind of, like Tynan and Trevor, you know, I started getting tires. I have more tires at my house now. Like I'm like, if anybody needs tires out there, if it's stopping you from riding, holler at me. I'll donate them to you. I've got kit from Tynan that came through Trevor, like just dropping them off at my house. And next thing you know, I'm like wearing spandex all the time and feeling like a superhero. And there's just this way that the community, the people in this room.
Do you remember just the other day when I was just like, I'm still trying to find you a pair of sunglasses, and then
James was like, hey.
no, he didn't even say nothing. He just turned around and said, here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this community. It's touching for me. It's as a man. I mean, this might be hard for some women too. I don't know if this is gendered anyway. This man, taking generosity is it was hard. Yeah. There's a part of me that's like, I don't want to hand out, and it didn't ever feel like a handout.
You know, and it's not just you. Like James went to London or France. That was where the Olympics were. Paris.
Yeah. Have no
And
vote.
yes, okay, the one that you were just at, whatever, Paris, and he got a pair of, because of his status with the Olympic team, he got a pair of U.S. Olympic Oakleys, but he wanted to make sure that he gave them to somebody that was supporting the shop and gave back and everything, so he gave them to Matt. And
Yeah.
so Matt has one
Those
off.
those are my favorite pair of glasses, and like they mean more to me than any of the things that you could buy.
But
you
you
know,
can't,
but that's like
it's a set of glasses. But James
Yeah.
didn't take them for himself, because we like to share the things that make us happy.
Yeah, or that we have an abundance of.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think this dovetails into another discussion about how much this sport costs.
Yeah.
And how and I think this is very appropriate in this forum, because it requires a lot of money to ride nice bikes. It's very expensive, and it can be exclusionary because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, maybe people that want to ride, they're like, oh, I can't ride because my bike's not nice enough, or I'm not going to be fast enough because my bike is this or my bike is that. But I think what we want to get out is that we will really just want you to ride, and we're going to do everything in our power to get you there.
Yeah, Trevor greased my crank, y'all. Greased it hard. And it's fast now.
Yeah.
Right?
I took apart the bottom racket.
Oh, yeah, he took apart my bottom racket,
I
y'all.
took the bearing.
And then he greased it.
Cleaned all the crud out.
So what I'm saying is,
The bike that we
Yeah.
donated to you.
yeah. I'm riding a bike that was donated by this community.
And you,
The bike.
the guy that fits you too.
I'm bluffing you. This is what I talked about this earlier. Brett, a person that we like. Oh yeah, we can't say it. But sometimes when guys, we bust each other's chops a little bit. It's how we say
but
we love you. It's
let's
how I say
talk-
I love you.
Okay,
you
but
know?
let's talk about how nice the bottom bracket is now.
Oh, yeah.
It's got fresh grease. It's
Yeah.
clean. And
But that's an example.
yeah.
It's an example of making this equipment as fast as possible for everybody, making it accessible.
And it doesn't have to be expensive.
Because
I think is the
we
point.
ride normal bikes, right? We both have cyclo bikes.
Yeah, I mean, my bike, like, I got from another person who is in the industry, and I got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
And I've been riding it for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I think the great thing about this community is that, like, no matter what, there's somebody who wants to help you get riding
Yep.
again. We all want our friends to ride. We know that we are happier when we're riding. And so we're always looking out to give whatever skills and time we have available to us to the other people. And I'm like just as thankful and dependent on the bike shop as you. Like the rear wheel I'm riding now, like is Matt's. And like the group set that's on the bike.
the arrow socks that you wear.
The arrow socks.
I need to actually. You said I needed to come by your place to get some socks.
But really, like
Socks.
a pair of socks here, and then like I had ended up with extra like hydration pack that I tossed over to Trevor, and the whole thing is like I have other friends who like their bike that they had sitting outside, and they're like, oh, what do I need to get this going? And then I take a look at it at my house for like the people in need, because like I know that like having it, let's say you don't even have enough money to get a car going. If you can get on a bike and get rolling, that level of freedom and autonomy that offers you is incredible. And there's like there's charities set up around the world like based on that fundamental concept of like, let's get bikes to people.
Yeah.
It gives you mobility and freedom that like, especially in this like when we have infrastructure that's so based on like driving wheeled like
Right.
And it's healthy.
cars around.
Yellow Bike Project here in Austin,
Yeah.
Texas, right?
For sure.
Yellow Bike Project.
It's healthy too. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all remember what I looked like when I first started riding road bikes? I was 260 pounds. I just hit 192 just the other day.
Congrats, man.
So
That's awesome.
that's a lot of weight shed just because I'm like trying to not use my car.
And I don't think we need a fancy bike to ride bikes or to ride hard. I ride
Yeah.
hard with you guys, and you might get gains, you might get some watts here and there, but the one thing I noticed riding, at least with some of our rides, well, not our rides, some of the rides I've been on, is feeling less than because I didn't have a fancy bike. People would have like,
Colnagos.
you've got a Colnago.
Oh boy.
Well, yeah, people would have really expensive bikes and they talk about it and they would like give each other accolades for it. And I'd just be like, feeling a little left out of that
Yeah.
discussion.
But I will say there is no richer feeling
Then beating them.
than you on a beater.
Beating them.
Beating.
That actually fuels me.
Yeah.
That happens a lot because Phil's fast now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like, and I think like, I just like, I'm in the process of getting a new bike.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm getting a new bike is not because like I can't ride mine anymore, but because like I love this sport so much that when I have like extra money to play with, I want to A, support the bike shop, and B, like give myself more and more reason and more fun ways to ride
I
around.
thought you were just done riding with us. I thought you were just done riding with us.
What do you mean?
So you just were like, no.
Now you need
I want-
fast bikes.
Yeah,
you don't
now
have to
you-
ride with them.
Now you,
Oh, no.
now you need a fast group.
I'm perfectly capable of riding slower than I can ride.
That was a burn. He just burned us a little bit.
All right. Well, it's getting close to my bedtime.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Rusty's a strong rider.
Yes.
He's a strong rider. Maybe one of our strongest riders.
Best looking legs.
He's got the best looking legs. He rides the strongest and he rides the hardest.
James has got the brightest legs.
James has got the brightest.
I don't think I ride the hardest.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, I ride easy most of the time. I ride hard like once, maybe twice a week.
Oh, this gets into another one. Are we done with that discussion about the cost? Well, I kind of derailed it, but
Yeah, no, I guess I just wanted to make the point that, you're not going to be criticized for riding a less expensive bike.
No.
It's more about, are you there? Are you putting in the work?
Does your kit match?
Does it give you joy?
it's not about your kit match.
Well, I think that there's a journey that people go on in this sport where they start with like they have a bike and they want to ride it more. And like the first bike I had was like my dad's old Centurion Le Mans 12 speed, and I rode that thing until the seat fell off and I got a big gash in my leg, so I hit a pothole. And then finally after like I had ridden the wheels off that bike, then I like spent all my bar mitzvah money on my first like real road bike, and then I rode that until the wheels fell off that. And then I got like my first like real race bike, and then like onward and onward. And I think like when somebody shows up on a bike that's like the bike that they want to ride, and they looked at the group of the guys and girls in spandex, and it's an intimidating sight. And they showed up and they go like, I want to ride with them. I am stoked. I don't care how slow I have to ride. I don't care like how long it'll take me or how many hours I have to spend in the sun. Giving that person the companionship that they came for is like the thing that got me into the sport. And
He does that.
It's what I love about it.
Yeah, he rode in the back with me the first couple rides, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told him that the benefit of riding with a group wasn't in the drafting. It was in the confidence you get from riding together.
Yeah, you were a draft denier for a while.
I was a draft denier. I was a draft dodger.
You thought that the draft benefit was all the spirit of camaraderie.
Camaraderie is what drives you.
Right.
And when you get dropped, but there's two things that happen, right?
that
When you
dog
get
that
dropped,
drove you.
that dog drove me.
Yeah, that dog was like, hey, and you would swing out real wide. Hey! No, there's a dog back there. It's like, yes, that's the 12th time you told us about the dog.
It's a mean dog. You remember that dog,
He
Tom?
just likes to run.
just
He's
wants to
not. He's not going after you.
He came up and almost
fine.
touched one of the other riders, and they freaked out and they screamed at him.
Yeah.
But he didn't go for their leg or anything. He was just like,
He's not
"Can
a
you go
biter."
faster."
Oh, one thing for
wants
the
to-
viewers, if they are riding and there is a dog and they're scared of the dog, carrying a water bottle and squirting the dog in the face with water is a good way of getting the dog to at least take a couple steps where it doesn't know what's happening so you can get away from him.
Y'all, if y'all want to meet this dog, I haven't seen him lately.
He was there last week.
Yeah,
He was?
Yeah.
You're just too fast now.
I'm
See
too fast
now
for
you're.
dog.
Yeah, he's not
I'm
out.
too
You're
soon.
already gone
That's right,
before
baby.
he comes.
That's
out.
right,
They're
baby.
gonna stay at that front.
It's James's poor wife that has to deal with the dog now.
Ain't she?
Yeah, we don't have this. I was gonna call you a sack of meat, but then that sounded.
You're gonna call me a sack of meat?
Yeah.
See, this is
edit.
Yeah.
what Trevor was gonna say. I love you. That's his way of doing it.
But I.
That's how guys do it.
Did
You say sack of meat. No, I translate. Right, and that's how we
say
do
with
it.
friend. I said what I was gonna say.
Tynan doesn't do that.
No.
I love you too. Now, if you guys wanted to see this dog, if you live in Austin, can I invite them to the ride?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Trevor said no.
No. It's
Okay, we can invite them to the
Yes.
ride. We meet on Saturdays. If you've got a bike and you've got a love of biking, we meet on Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. here at the Bicycle House. What's the address, James?
6318 Burnett Road.
6318 Burnett Road.
Austin.
I think it's Suite B.
Sweet
It
bee.
is Sweet Bees.
It's Sweet B, not Sweet T. Sweet B.
We all wear spandex, and the ride, like, if it takes like between 2.5, 3 hours.
You don't have to wear spandex, but everybody is going to be wearing spandex. But I didn't wear spandex the first couple rides.
like
Yeah.
Please eat before the ride.
Here's the thing. We're going to ride 34 miles. And
it's a ways if you haven't ridden.
if you're going from 0 to 34 miles, it's going to be a
be
big thing to do.
Yeah.
So you might want to do some things before that.
Because I can bring a goo, but I can't bring a lubies.
So eat some food before you come, bring some water, bring a bike kit.
Saturdays at 7 a.m.
Saturdays at 7 a.m. Come ride bikes with us. You'll meet this dog, especially if you're slow. Right? But if you're fast like me, I mean, you're not even going to see me, y'all.
And if you're not sure about your bike, then bring it into the shop. We'll take a look at it couple days before. Give us a call.
If you hadn't ridden in a while,
You're not-
the bike's been sitting around.
Yeah.
You're probably going to need to get looked at.
If somebody bought you a bike years ago and you were like, "What is this for?" That you can ride it. Actually,
If
That's good.
if your grandpa died
Yeah.
and left a bike that you want to ride out of sentimental value or sentimental,
If you're a runner who keeps getting repetitive use injuries and you want to do a sport that's actually fun, you can ride bikes.
Or the purchase speed, you can come talk to James or I. We will sell you a bike.
Yep, these guys here in this shop, they sell bikes, bike parts. They also fix
And more
bikes.
than that, they build like dream bikes.
Dream bikes for sure. We got Tade's. There's bikes back there that are really fancy.
Todd is not here right now.
Well, it's-
Picked up this morning.
Oh, what's that yellow one?
That's all,
Tade.
that is a Tade, but it's not the Pogachar official. It's not the multicolor one. It's the
Names
tour
on
one.
it.
Tade's the man who won the Tour de France.
Funny enough,
Oh.
Tade and I are the same exact size. Both 5'9". He just runs a 130 stem.
How tall is he?
No, both 5'9".
5'8.1".
He runs a 130 stem because he is much more flexible and maybe a couple pounds lighter.
Maybe.
And
I mean, yeah, we can talk about cycling
both
and
fast.
body dysmorphia.
no,
So they got bikes.
Yeah.
They got.
what's James's conflict?
You got a conflict, James?
No, like we did bar whip.
Oh.
Oh, are we done with that talk?
Yeah. Yeah.
That talk was about the cost of getting into bikes.
Just the inclusivity, I think. Yeah.
Don't judge people on
But if you got a lot of money, go spend it at a bike shop. It's a good place to
it's
spend
fun.
money.
just even
Yeah.
if you have a bike, just get on it. You're doing something more
Definitely
than the
get
next
on
person.
bikes. I got a controversy: electric bikes versus non-electric bikes.
What do you mean?
I tell you this:
E-bikes.
e-bikes versus non-e-bikes. I tell you this: when I get passed by someone on an e-bike, I want to win. I want to go faster than them,
And you can.
and sometimes I can. Sometimes I can.
You can.
but not for the long haul.
Not every
Eventually,
time.
they
When they,
Because in order for them to carry on past what the bike will support them to, like say it'll help them to 25 miles an hour, the weight of the battery and the motor and all that stuff means that now instead of riding a 21, 22 pound bike, they got like a 45 pound bike. So getting from 20 past 25 to then 26 or 27, it's like, okay, well, you got to be very, very strong to do that.
That's right.
Yeah, not for you. You can just consistently just speed up.
Okay. What do you guys think about e-bikes versus? Here's my position. I've got a diplomatic position for once, and it's probably because I hang out with Russ too much. My position is more bikes on the road is better because it means that cities will invest in bike infrastructure. It means that we'll have more bike shops. We'll have more people buying bike tubes and bike tires. There's a lot of shared equipment between e-bikes and bikes. So I just think more people getting out and riding a bike, whether it's commuting or, enjoying the day or however it is, it puts more interest into the sport. It puts more interest into the mode of transportation. And then we might get more infrastructure.
yeah.
That's my position.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I mean, I think more people on bikes is definitely better for having more bike lanes and having more power with the city. More bikes means we need more space for bikes. I have my only issue with e-bikes are throttles. I have a little bit of an issue with folks that don't pedal their e-bikes. It's like, it's a bike, you should pedal it. And maybe I'm being petty, but when I see somebody just peg throttle and they're cruising down Burnett Road and not pedaling, to me, that's not riding a bike. That's riding a motorcycle. And those are two different things. So that's my opinion on it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Matt?
I I think the same thing you do, Phil. I think more bikes of any kind on the trails or on the street, commuting, anything is good. I'd rather see that. I think it's good for infrastructure. It's good for the visibility of people see more people riding e-bikes. If it makes my ride safer, I'm all for that. I don't think I have any criticisms of e-bikes, but the one thing that I do have a constant concern about is people's safety. There's a lot of weight involved in riding an e-bike with a lot of speed, and it's definitely not a toy. And you do see a number of people, and no one here, and the majority of people who ride e-bikes are very capable of riding any bike. But there are people who will either rent an e-bike or they'll get an e-bike for the first time, and they don't really appreciate the speed that they're going. And that's, it's kind of, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that, it just needs to be respected, just like you would riding a regular bike. You're in traffic. You have to pay attention to where you're riding. And yeah, I don't want to bring it back to safety again, but I know here in Austin, we've had a couple high-profile e-bike crashes. I know one of, I think, our reporters for the Statesman was hit by someone riding an e-bike on the Walnut Creek Trail that we ride every Saturday. And they wrote an article about it, about how unsafe e-bikes are on shared trails. And so, even with the great idea of more people on two wheels, more people in saddles is fantastic. There does, just like with any bike use, there's always that potential for a backlash.
Yeah, and I think one of the things about like riding a conventional bike is the time you spend on the bike is correlated with like how fast you get. And so you get faster at the same amount of time as you get better at handling. Whereas if you're sort of just like airdrop onto a bike that lets you go at a speed that's really quickly, you sort of miss out on all of this time where you're training not just like how hard you can pedal, but how do you react to a crack in the road? How do you react to like some woman in a stroller suddenly appearing? How do you react to like
dog.
a dog? right? And all those like small, subtle things about how do you handle a bike in all of these different situations. If you don't have that experience and all of a sudden you're forced to react to things at a speed that's really, really quick, then you can put people in danger. And so I think like if the e-bike is being used as like a supplement to existing riding, like if I want to like go to the grocery store and bring a bunch of groceries back, like I think the cargo e-bikes are really good. Or if I've been riding for many, many years and I'm used to riding in a big group and I'm starting to get like old and lose the power that I had, and I still want to ride with my friends, I think an e-bike is great for there. But I don't think it's a good way to get free speed or to like to do what other people are doing without like, taking requisite time to like ride it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
makes
like
sense.
the faster you go, the quicker you have to react to things.
Yeah.
And-
We had a guy that, just a quick story, we had a guy that joined us on one of our shop rides. He was on a very nice specialized e-bike, and he had cancer, and he was in, just basically working through chemo, and he didn't have any energy, but all he wanted to do was go on a group ride with his friends, and that gave him the ability to do that. And I think that's great. That's, folks that don't otherwise have the strength, can do it on an e-bike, and he had the skills too. Like he had been riding all his life, so he knew how to handle it. And,
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. So.
My only real issue with e-bikes is for a lot of people to like bike brands that are producing them, or I should not say bike brands, companies that are producing some of them, they're producing them simply to sell a product, but the bike itself is not particularly safe. I mean, it kind of is related to what Matt was talking about. We get them in here all the time where somebody goes on Amazon, spend $400 on an e-bike. It'll do 28 miles an hour with a throttle. You don't have to pedal it, but it has no brakes.
Yeah.
Like you could,
No quality of brakes.
no quality of brakes because it comes with they're building it to a price, and that is one of the corners. It's an easy corner to cut for most of these brands, and you can have a bike that weighs 80 pounds that'll do 28 miles an hour, that you could literally squeeze the brake all the way in, and you will slow down slower than a car.
Yeah.
That's
you're just like waiting.
and that's extremely common.
Yeah.
We get them in here all the time where they're like, fixing a flat, whatever. And like we go to test ride it and it literally does not stop. Like you can pull the lever to the bar, it doesn't stop. And it's, for us, it puts us in a predicament. I don't want to give a bike back to somebody that's like, you can now go as fast as a car on the street, but you can't stop.
We have to test ride them, so it puts us in danger.
So that's
just like a lot of these bikes are like they're really unregulated. There isn't like a standard, like when you go into a car, like the car passes like brake safety checks, and these don't have to pass any of those. And when you go to some place that's not a reputable local bike shop to buy these things and you think you're getting a deal, a lot of times you're actually putting yourself in danger by getting something that's not going to be totally safe because somebody's making a bike-shaped object instead of something that's like tried and tested on the road.
Yeah, there are 3 categories of e-bike, just to kind of help people understand. Just class 1, 2, and 3, pretty simple. Class 1 is what you would see at every bike shop. There's no throttle. They're limited to 20 miles an hour assistance. But for the most part, they're a traditional performance level bike, just with a help.
Assist.
Class 3 is more or less the same exact thing, but limited to 28 miles an hour. Almost exclusively road e-bikes. That's the vast majority of them.
E-cargo.
It's then no throttle. Still just an assisted bike. But yeah, a lot of the e-cargo bikes that are designed for road use. Class 2, Wild West. There's no speed limit. You can have throttles. There's a lot of e-motorcycles that work around rules to be considered bicycles, even if they have no drivetrain, no pedals. They're just, you can only throttle them, but they technically fall into that category. So there's a lot of bikes in there and that's where almost all of the unsafe bikes tend to fall.
They could do 70
Unfortunately,
miles an hour.
Yeah, they're full-on motorcycles.
Yeah.
It'll do, 50,
Right.
60, 70 miles an hour.
And there's plenty of
They're
kids.
calling them e-bikes.
And there's plenty of kids that are like, "Hey, mom and dad, can I get an e-bike to get to school?" And they're buying these things.
Well, those are dirt bikes. Those are strictly listed as off-road. I can't wait for my turn because I'm going to unload on this topic.
Yeah.
Because I hate
We should
e-bikes.
Okay.
I hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them.
Unload.
Dude, if I swear, all you have to be able to do is make sure that it's limited to 28 miles an hour or less and have a set of pedals on it, and you can list it as an e-bike. I have come across, there's people that call a shop wanting to sell these things in here, and they're like, yeah, it's a a cafe cruiser style e-bike, and I'm just like, you couldn't pedal that because of the geometry of it, even if you tried. It's simply just got a throttle on it, and it's got this massive headlight and turn signals and a tail light and all this other stuff, like from the factory. That's not a bike. That is a motorcycle. There's a guy that rides a Suron, which is an electric dirt bike, but because it says electric E and bike, it's just missing the off-road. He rides it to and from the middle school to pick up his daughter, but he's in a full kit. Like, he's wearing padded pants, padded like jersey jacket, full moto helmet. He's riding the bike lane where I'm at. And you know what the speed limit is on a Suron? 65. In my bike lane. In my bike lane.
And you can only go 59.8.
Dude, 59.8.
That's a good comment. That's a good guy.
I'm busted, Phil.
Who called that?
But, okay, yes.
That's impressive.
That was good.
There's the plot
I'll give you credit on that. But yeah, no, like the dude is literally riding a motorcycle just to be able to skip traffic. Like, and he's just like, oh yeah, it's an e-bike. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, get out of here, get in traffic, get off, quit making the stupid batteries. Like, if we run out of gas like we're expected to, save them for the cars. Quit making them for all these stupid bikes. Quit making it to where all the lazy people can get out and be like, oh, I'm going to just go on my bike and just wing. Like, cycling is supposed to be healthy for you. And, like, it's doing nothing. Just get in your car. You have one. That's why you can afford these monsters. Like, just leave the stuff for me to enjoy and just be respectful to the actual people who want to be on their bike. I don't know, man. I hate it. I know it's going to cause a lot of fury, but God, I hate e-bikes so much.
For anybody that has any feedback for Trevor,
No,
please
listening to it.
mail them to
You can type it out.
555
Trevor's mailing address.
5555.
All your time typing whatever comments you want towards that statement. I don't care. I'm not going to read it.
Look, when I got divorced a long time ago, I couldn't get a regular job because I was like in a crazy place emotionally. Like, I just couldn't keep it together. I chose to pedicab, but I did it for like 4 months in Austin, Texas. And I made a lot of cash doing that. And I would go out there and I'd beat my body in the streets. I would
Zing.
You were on the corner selling yourself.
look. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Do you want to hold the mic a little differently?
I would get out there and I would ride strong and I would ride hard. And I'd be tired at the end of those rides. Helping people, I'd give people rides.
I would pay to see it.
Trevor. Oh my God. Okay, the reason I'm talking about this is nowadays the pedicab community can have engines in their pedicabs. They can have electric pedicabs, and they do. And whenever I see them, I'm like, in my day, they don't know what it was like back in the day because I bumped on that pedicab. I remember the first day trying when I didn't know we weren't supposed to go up south first with a pedicab, up that freaking steep road. And I had to get my passengers out and we were all pushing that thing up to the top to Mary Street. And it wasn't very different on my first day when I had passengers trying to go up Congress. And I tell you, after doing it a while, I could go up any of those streets. I would ride those passengers all the way to UT, and I was crushing it. And there was some like pride I had in working ACL and going up and down. What's that street next to
West?
The one that when we take Liz after the ride, we go. What's that street where you go up next to the Tex-Mex restaurant?
Oh,
across
that's
from that
the hippie highway.
Fifth?
Yeah, the hippie highway. What's it called?
It's Fifth. It's Fifth.
Fifth Street.
Fifth, South Fifth.
South
Yeah.
Fifth.
It's hard. But I would go up and down that on the pedicab to grab all like the people that wanted to go to ACL because all the regular pedicabbers would be down there at ground floor. Now they've got engines, and I'm like, these kids these days, are they even working?
The tips you would have gotten if your legs would have been shaped.
Okay, here's what we got to see. Let's see. Can we see the yams? Can we see the yams, Russell? Can you put it up here?
What?
Let's see these legs, baby.
This better get more than 3 views. I swear.
Let's see them right up here. Put the yams up here.
You like put like a leg on the table.
Yeah, baby. Snuggin has got to get on the. Whoa! You got to show them the calf, though.
I mean, this is not the best way to display legs.
You got to show them the calf,
You
baby.
get on the table.
Well, yeah, get on the table.
I don't know if this table is-
Maybe not on the
Pretty,
I don't know what the original.
Okay, sit down.
don't
Russell.
stand there.
We'll get a picture to put in there. So basically,
This is not the first time Phil has peer pressured me to show other people my legs.
That's true.
it won't be the last either. With yams like that. Anyway, so where we fall on the electric, non-electric, it's kind of split. Like some people, it's a safety thing. I think where safety's concerned, we think there should be more regulations and guidelines to protect the consumer.
Yeah.
I think people who I think are on these e-bikes should understand that they are weak compared to people riding regular bikes.
That's what's up.
But like, I don't really want to like carry 20 pounds of groceries on my like little bike. It'd be nice to have a bigger bike that was heavier.
Backpack.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it before.
Not
Like,
a bunch of groceries though. You could.
I've been a bike bum. I like chop groceries on a fixie. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But like the main thing to return to safety is like, really it's about speed difference. And the speed difference between a cyclist and a pedestrian is significant, which is why there's a separate bike lane from like a walking path, and why like when we're on multi-use trails, we ride a lot slower than when we're on single-use trails.
Some of us,
No, we do.
It's only 59.
we do.
And the reason that there's like a separate bike lane from cars is there's a big difference between the speed of cars and the speed of bikes. If you are on a two-wheeled instrument or a four-wheeled instrument and you're going significantly faster than the other people who are using that road or that like section of road, because it gives you an advantage over other, like that's not safe.
Yep.
Like you go the place that you can go the same speed as everyone else. And if you can accelerate really quickly, like if you're passing people in a lane, like that's dangerous. So I agree with Trevor that like riding a super high powered, essentially motorcycle in a bike lane because you're legally allowed to puts people at risk. Like, and we just don't expect it. And doing unexpected things at high speed when there's like heavy metal machinery involved is dangerous. So I would just say like, I'm very glad that more people are on two-wheeled things. I think like taking up less space on the road allows us to all be closer together, allows like a shorter trip to the grocery store, allows like, I liked it that like I can see somebody else on a bike and I can talk to them and wave at them. Inside cars, you're sort of in this little glass prison and you don't really like, you see sort of the other car beetle-like things crawling along the road. It's all depersonalized, but other people on bikes or motorcycles, like you see the body, you can look at the person, you can wave at them. There's a humanizing element to it, and I liked it and I appreciate it. So I'm all for it. But we're still figuring out how to make that safe and make it so that we have a set of expectations that are sustainable and work for all of us in this community. So I'd say the more bikes, the merrier. But new weird bikes cause new weird problems. And let's just like work with each other to make sure that we're not infighting and
killing
at each other's necks.
Yeah. Next controversy.
Wait, can I just add something? Since if people actually watch this,
Of course you
with
can.
the,
People are gonna watch this, Trevor.
you probably get like the 4 of us, at least.
Your moms are gonna watch it.
That was fantastic as well.
That was good. That was good. You're on a roll. Keep going.
Yeah.
What's your
But-
button?
Okay, they keep putting regular bike brake pads on these e-bikes. So please just, if you do have an e-bike, I don't care what brand it is, bring it into the shop regularly, like at least once a quarter, maybe if even semi-annually, just because y'all go through brake pads and I can't tell you how many times you bring e-bikes in and you've just been grinding metal on metal and that doesn't stop you. So please just, if you have bicycle products on something that weighs as much as some of these e-bikes do, have it checked regularly so that way you can stop and not die. That'd be cool. Okay, next topic.
That's fair.
Next topic. Who's got a controversy? Controversy.
I mean, there's good old fashioned cycling induced body dysmorphia.
You wanted to okay, cycling induced.
Also, I mean, I can talk about my own experience with this.
Okay, yeah.
And like,
What is
What is cycling
so
induced
body dysmorphia is a thing that occurs to people when like a normally healthy person would think that they have like they're overweight when they're not. Cycling is a extreme endurance sport where the professionals in this sport are spending like 20 plus hours a week training. They're all very, very small. They're all extremely lean. And so because we many of us follow this sport professionally.
Do we emulate?
We watch these professional
Right.
riders. A lot of the stimulation that we receive is of people who are like very, very, very thin. And so looking at pictures of yourself and then looking at pictures of pro riders, it's easy to go like, oh, I'm super overweight. I need to lose weight. And to gain a disproportionate like understanding of one's own health. And like, there's a lot of like people in the sport who struggle with under eating and who are like, deliberately trying to like cut, and it ends up making people like low energy and sad. And I think like when we talk about like, oh, like the pro riders and they have their weights posted and there's like, I'm fairly like lean and skinny and tall. For many, many years, like I considered myself a heavy, big rider. Because when I looked at all the pro cyclist weights, like I could only find like one or two who were like in the ballpark of like what I could get to if I was like riding a ton. Now that like I've ridden a whole lot more, my mindset around it has shifted a lot. But still, like this is a sport where we see lots of very, very skinny people on the very limits of human performance, and we judge ourselves against those performances when really like the only thing that's a viable judge of performance is like against your own previous experiences.
Dude, Jonas looks like death after every race.
Right. And I mean like
You had a journey
For sure.
You had a journey that was about your body. It was about your body, the way you saw your body and what was acceptable.
and also
your lifestyle.
other people's bodies. Like I used to ride with a guy who worked out a ton, and he was like a big upper body weight guy.
Like Tynan.
Sure, and I think like and again, like you mentioned earlier, like you're like, oh, like I'm quote unquote like a fat cyclist.
Yes.
Like carrying any amount of muscle, like upper body muscle,
Yeah.
like for many years, like especially like in the like 2000s, 2010s, like being muscular at all, like having like muscles, like you get called fat just for having like if you had like biceps, but that's fat.
Yeah.
Because like the upper body weight wasn't used to pedal the bike,
Right.
And like a lot of the time gets made up on the hill, and so just being big, just being tall, just having wide shoulders, like you thought of yourself as fat, and you thought of other people with a similar build as fat, and that's nonsense, and that's a dysmorphia. Like it's a bad understanding of shape.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, it's a great way for people to lose weight, to get in shape, to increase their aerobic capacity, to get like better leg strength, which is correlated with longer life and like overall healthier way of being. But there's also this sort of like dark side of it, which is if you're really, really chasing performance gains and you're grading yourselves against these people who have like a massive amount of people looking after them and they're trying to get these performances for very narrow windows of time, you can end up in a state where you're not feeling really good about yourself. And the people around you are like, wow, that person's so like skinny, like they need to eat more, and then they don't because they look in the mirror and they see something that's not there.
Anybody else got that?
Yeah, there's actually a controversy.
Go ahead, the microphone.
There's a controversy right now with female pro tour. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot just won the women's tour, and she told everybody that she had intentionally lost a certain amount of weight before the tour because she felt that that was what was going to allow her to be at her best for what is needed at that level. A lot of it got blown out of proportion, and she even said, like, this is not healthy. I'm going back to normal after the race. But basically every question they asked of many of the other women who were also favorites were like, what do you think about this? Do you think you're too heavy for this? Which women love. So, and to their credit, there's a couple of the women that were like, no, I am 100% happy with where I'm at with my body shape, body weight. This is what I need. I have no desire to try to intentionally be, lighter because I know it'll be unhealthy for me. And they were totally fine with that. But there's a lot of people, men and women, that are like, I need to lose this amount of weight, or I need to be at this certain weight to be competitive. Whether it's, strength or anything else involved in that, most of the time, not most of the time, every time when you lose weight, you do lose power and muscle. And that's just you losing weight. Sometimes it balances out, and you can kind of make it work, but I mean, especially at that level when they're already at the edge of being too lean, too skinny. It's not a healthy place at the pro level.
And I think like people can get like a lot of like weight loss from cycling, but weight loss in general is really gradual process. And so it's really hard to change the way that you look at yourself if over time, like you don't really see like day to day the differences, and you keep chasing this ideal, which is where you want to get to, and then you look at yourself, and it's not that ideal because it's not your body. And you try to make your body look like somebody else's, and that doesn't really work. And again, like somebody can be at a really, really lean weight for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then that's when you see them on TV. And then that race ends, and then they put the weight back on because it's not healthy to stay at that weight. But then year round, somebody else could be chasing that figure because that's the type of person who wins the race. And that can be really unhealthy.
So how much weight did she lose and why? Was it because she thought that it would give her an advantage in the climbs, or?
Yeah, she had come from I may not be correct, she might be the most winningest cyclist, period, of all time. She's been world champion in essentially every single cycling discipline except for BMX, I believe.
What's
I
her
know
name?
it not BMX. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. She's a French woman.
Shout out Pauline. Way to crush it on the cycle.
There's one or two others that are very close, but I believe that because she's won world championships and Olympics, road, cyclocross, gravel, mountain.
Yeah.
But I believe she lost 10 to 15 pounds. She's a tiny woman. Very, very, very small.
But
So
it was-
it's a huge percentage of weight.
It was just for the climbs?
100% just for the tour, because she felt that's what she needed to do to be competitive on the climbs. Because that's where you win at
Win
those
or
grand
lose.
tours.
And she's got to know that she's going to be like one of the biggest influencers to other women who want to then potentially participate in something like that. I mean, Kristen Faulkner, she started 5 years ago now. And she won the Olympics last year. So that to me was just like, good Lord, if you're a woman, get in the sport now because your chances are high. Because like right now is your time. Like this sport is growing, it's growing rapidly. Like you have, like, I don't care if you are 25 years old, you can grab a bike right now and potentially put your name in the record books because the door is open. Like for men, they say one in every 10 to 12 years, there's a in Tour de France winner that's born. That's how few of people are potential winners of the Tour de France. But it's just like, there's a huge potential for women to like light up right now. So like, do you think that hurt the cycling community for her to potentially think that she had to put herself through misery to be able to try to win something? I mean,
A
that's
tiny bit, but she also did, when she said, I lost weight to do this, she did also say, I know this is not a good thing. Like, I am going to be unhealthy for this race.
that's just
But
weird.
for me, that's what it takes. That's what it's going to take for me to do the performance I need.
That's really strange because all I do is I just try to chase Russell, and I'm just like, I don't care if I have to throw up at the top of this. Like, The other day I was just like, I'm getting dizzy. He was like, yeah, because your brain needs oxygen. Like your body's sacrificing it for you. I was just like, whoa.
And I think for a lot of people on the outside of cycling, they just see road is all the same. But the guys who do well in Grand Tours are not the guys who do well in the one-day races. Very, very rarely. I mean, we currently have a guy Tade, who happens to just be good at everything, but that's extremely rare. Most of the time, the guys who are doing well in the one-day races, Olympics, World Championships, that sort of thing, in the cycling world, they're usually bigger guys because they're stronger. Those guys don't do well at Grand Tours.
Stage races.
Because the Matthew Van Der Poels and the Wout Van Aerts,
Remco,
those guys in the cycling world, they're big.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not.
And these are
big.
guys who are like 6'1" at like 165 to 175 pounds.
Yeah.
And those are like the heavyweights.
Yeah, and they are considered very, very large, like pro cyclists. Whereas, you go to the guys who win the tours, who are similar heights, maybe a little shorter, 5'8", 5'9", but like at the lightest, they could be 120 pounds, maybe even less. Rarely more than 140. So they're just much, much, much smaller.
And I think we're
146.
we're in this like lucky period where like some of the nutrition science is sort of moving away from the hyper weight loss era, where like when I started riding, like going on fasted rides, which is like you would go do 3 hours before you eat anything in the morning. And that was like how you would cut down to race weight. And that was like standard practice. And now with modern nutrition science, people have gone like, nope, that was actually a giant waste of time. No benefit to that. Eat as many carbs as you can possibly fuel into your stomach. And so last year I was really excited because the winner of the King of the Mountains jersey was like a bigger guy. He was like a heavier guy, and he purposely gained weight, and he performed a lot better by eating more. And I was like, that's amazing. I'm so stoked that a bigger guy was like able to beat the skinny climber guys on the big climbs by putting on additional
You know what's
weight.
impressive is when Matt was teaching me how to ride for the hill climb rides and stuff. He'd be up there with you for half of each climb, and like right on your wheel, and you could see like Matt unzips his jersey when he goes up a hill, so it looks like Batman just going up. And so like he's got this cape all flying, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and then all of a sudden he like looks back, so he completely falls off, and then he just coaches me through. I can't talk because of how hard I'm pushing myself trying to learn how to do this and everything. I'm just like, why do y'all do this? This is the stupidest thing in the world. I'm not enjoying myself. I'm in pain. Now it's like I look forward to it, but he would just come back and he'd be like, all right. And I remember very distinctly, I don't know how you did it, but you knew exactly like the second count to the top of Ladera Norte, which is one of the steeper climbs in Austin. But you're like, dude, you got it. You got it. It's 30 seconds. And I was just like, man, I've been told the human body can endure anything for 30 seconds. All I have to do is hang on for 30 seconds. And you're like, you're almost there. You're almost there. And you're like, you got 10 more seconds. And I'm just like, dude, I can do it for 10 seconds. And I'm literally to the point to where I can feel my eyes bulging in and out of my head. And you're just like 8, 7, 6. And I'm just sitting there and like I make it to the top of the Ladera and like it says PR on my little screen, like personal record and everything. And you just kept coaching me through it. And I was just like, wait, he just chased him down, then pulled back, like hit his brakes, completely got rid of all his inertia just to be able to help me. I was just like, now that's speed. And so like, yeah, just to show everybody that's like watching this, you are the one who's like, you got a secret card up your sleeve every time. I know you do. So there's something to be said about that.
Thank you. That's flattering. Yeah, Russell can always leave me, but when he goes hard, which I am completely comfortable with, because I mean we're different type of riders. I mean, Russell and I have similarities, especially in the sprint sections and on the flat sections. We both like to put out a lot of power for a long time, but yeah, and that's one thing talking about. Body dysmorphia in cycling, and something Tom brought up earlier is that feeling really intimidated to come out to a ride if you're bigger. I mean, I've always been. I came from other sports. I've never been a small cyclist. And when I first would go out to group rides, yeah, I would feel self-conscious. I mean, I never really considered myself, and ever like, oh my God, I'm a fat guy. But I would see how fit all these other riders were, and I'd be like, I don't look like that. That's not me. And it can be intimidating, and it can be something that you focus on, and it's tough to put in the back of your mind and just ride, and just ride to your strengths or ride to what you really enjoy. I love to climb. I'm never going to be a super fast climber, but I love the challenge of it. I always feel like if you go out and you climb a bunch of hills, you went for a bike ride. Like you get home and you're like, that was a good workout. I had a ride. There's a reason that I'm tired, and I like that. It's very, I think that's rewarding. And I'm really big on good views, and you get the best views at the top of hills. I really like some of the vistas we have in Austin. You kind of forget that we have some decent views. We have some decent hills. But yeah, it's one thing that I would hope people wouldn't not want to come out to a ride where everyone's kitted out in Lycra because they go, well, I don't look pro cyclist. Like Russell was saying, he's like, you see these people on the tour, and that's the image that you go for. It's not what you're going to look like. It's not your profession.
Yeah, you're going to look like you no matter what.
Yeah. You're going to look like you in those clothes. And of course, we all get fitter, and we like it when we start looking better and we look stronger. And it's peaks and valleys. There's
Straight legs.
I mean, there's times when you're in great shape, and then there's times when life happens and you're not in as quite a good a shape, or you get sick, or work gets busy. Anything can happen. And I think that it's tough. I've thought about the Pauline Prevost. I've thought about that a lot. And I've always thought she's a phenomenal cyclist, and she is someone that, especially when I've seen her mountain bike racing, she's incredibly fit to start with. I mean, she's extremely muscular. She's in great shape. So for someone, it's not like I went on a crash diet and won the tour. It's someone who is already at such a high level. She did something very specific, and I think it's tough to extrapolate that and say, women should now feel pressured to look like that or to do that. I think that's been going on in the men's peloton for years. We've looked at some former tour winners, Chris Froome, Bradley Wiggins, Lance. I mean, people that look absolutely emaciated.
And it's part of the culture. I mean, like, there's an image and there's like ways that we end up talking to each other and questions that we ask. I remember the first time I met you, and this is like a little bit bad on my part. I asked you if you were a track cyclist.
Yeah.
And track cyclists, like, they're bigger, they're more muscular.
Yeah.
And like, I knew that his team had a reputation of having track cyclists where I came from up in North Texas. But like, still, like, those little comments here and there that people throw at each other, those are like the things that get people to make unhealthy decisions. And I'm sort of like trying to be more cognizant of the way that I treat myself and other people, and trying to be more like everyone. Like, a lot of people come into the sport with weight loss goals, and it's hard to know where to stop, and hard to know like how to be easy on your body and take care of yourself, because it's so ingrained in the culture.
The part where this merges with my life, I think, is I was doing keto for a while I was riding. Mm-hmm. And I talked to you guys about it.
I know you're shaking your head.
and I did more research, and it seemed like, maybe I'll switch over to a targeted keto, because I think the sport needs carbs. Mm-hmm. It's hard to do this sport on meat alone.
Yes.
And vegetables alone. And when I did introduce that, it changed the way I would cycle. It changed the power that I had on the bike. And now I don't do keto at all. Now I'm like eating a half a banana bread loaf before I leave the house. But I do have thoughts about my weight. I do wonder, if I eat too much, I'm like, well, I need to ride the next day. I really want to ride because I put that food in my system. So I do think about weight.
Yeah,
I do
calories in, calories out. Like it's always churning.
Yeah, and I think the question is like, when is it healthy? When is it fueling a healthy lifestyle? When is it also allowing you to have a healthy self-image versus when is it tip the scale to being unhealthy, being something where you have self-hate? Like I hate my body when it's a different shape versus this is the way I naturally am. And I'm probably a bigger guy. I am a bigger guy regardless of how much I cycle or my natural weight is a little bit bigger. And so being at ease with that, comfortable with that is probably something that's really going to be in my best interest.
But you've lost a lot of weight too.
I've lost the weight. That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's these two sides of it, which is on the one hand, like, we'd love to congratulate people for getting down to a healthy weight, and losing weight is like we love to pat each other on the back for it. But then we also like it's hard to know where the line is drawn,
Right.
And the difficulty that I think that I have with the sport is like there's a lot of like ways in which we congratulate each other for cutting weight or for getting leaner or for like being in better shape. But there isn't any positive reinforcement for like putting on weight or putting on muscle.
Yeah.
And so I think like this is just an ongoing challenge that like the sport and the culture has to find some way of addressing eventually, which is like, how do we sort of find that like the bumper on the back end of that to like, or to find some way of congratulating or giving positive reinforcement for people getting healthier in a way that isn't like losing, but
Right.
is like gaining.
Somebody came up and squeezed the back of my leg one day while I was in Lycra on
A stranger?
no.
Okay.
You know the person, but I'm just not going to say names. But they were just like, "Good Lord, you're looking fit," and I was just like, "Oh yeah," and again, shaved legs. I'm telling you, man, they do something for the public, and you just look down and
Do you want to put your yams up on the table?
no, yeah.
But yeah, it's like I don't. There's not like much discussion about like, especially in communities of men, about eating disorders,
Yeah.
about like the vanity that comes along with like, oh, I want my legs to look really good,
Right.
Like, like in photos and for other things, and like I guess like the best example that we have is like Zoolander. And that's not like a good example of like how to operate, but like that's like the closest sort of thing of like the male models, but like that's not really how we operate at all.
I mean, I definitely want to look good and I want to be a healthy weight.
I want a big butt.
You're not going to lie?
I don't want to
Definitely
look
could add
fat and cheese.
Can you lie, though?
Like I don't want to go from like lower back
that's-
to leg. Like I want to I want to have a big butt.
Hank.
You want the
Hank
cake.
Hill- The Hank Hill butt.
Yeah,
Trevor wants some
don't-
cake, y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I come from I see both sides of it pretty well. So I come from a super heavy sprint background. So I raced BMX growing up, I raced BMX professionally, which very, very much big guys. Like when I was like first getting into BMX, the average pro was 230 pounds and just a monster. That was the normal pro size, which is 100 pounds heavier than the roadside at the same time. But my work, I've always been in shops that have always been on the roadside. So like I see the roadside and it's just like, how do you ride that fast when you have no muscle? And granted, I mean, I still race, but it's definitely not competitive anymore. But it's still kind of funny to see, because mentally, I see both sides. Like, I know I would be faster on the road, because I'm definitely on the bigger side for a road cyclist. But like, I would probably be faster if I lost some. But I'll still want to race BMX, where if I lost weight, I would lose power, and that would make me slower. So it's like, and I can't really be great at both, because I'd have to choose, which is fine. And I tend to err on the side of BMX just because that's what I prefer to race and ride. But I do know that like if I'm in really good BMX shape, like I'm bigger. And that's, I know that I won't be quite as good as I potentially could be on the road. It's like I'm not going to be able to go out in BMX race shape I'm not gonna be able to go out and ride 80 miles, like probably at all. Like I just wouldn't make it to the end. But if I ride road a lot, I could ride the 80 miles, but then I'd suck at BMX racing.
You wouldn't even get out of the gate.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the hard part. Is like you look at the top, BMX pros now. They're a lot leaner than they used to be. Just races are slightly different than they used to be, but they're still big, very very muscular guys, built very similar to track road racing, because it's short races. I mean, a really long race for me is 40 seconds. Like that is a long track.
And you know how I said my max power on a road bike is 1,600 watts? I've seen his power numbers just over 2,000 coming out of the gate. 200 RPMs in cadence.
He's sitting 3.
Oh, 3,000? I've never seen that. Good
I
lord.
have a picture of one of it.
Oh, you have a picture of it on your phone. It's not on Strava. Yeah, good lord. Strava would bump that down to 2,900.
Well, I don't have Strava.
Okay, favorite ride snack. Starting with you, Tom. What's your favorite ride snack?
I like Cliff Bars, and I use goos. Yeah,
You like it a
the
goo?
gels.
What flavor?
Yeah.
Or scent?
I like the coffee.
Coffee goo?
Yeah.
Is there a brand that you dig?
Well, goo is the brand.
Oh, goo is the
Gee.
Yeah. G.
GU. He likes goo brand.
Yeah.
James?
I'm a Fig Newton and Coke guy. That's it.
He does cocaine.
Sorry.
He does cocaine and he's Big Newtons, y'all.
Yeah, I honestly, I would be 100% fine with Fig Newtons and for me a longer ride. Like a little bit of
Coca-Cola.
Coke,
Yeah,
totally fine.
Really, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Don't they choke you out?
What?
They're so dry. The Fig Newtons?
Oh, well, are you buying good ones?
I don't buy them
Buy
all.
Fig Newtons. Don't buy the Costco.
You got to get a good Newton, bruh.
Yeah.
That's true.
Good figuring is good.
And Coca-Cola.
Is it my turn?
Don't do drugs. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite snack? Nerd clusters and Oreos.
All right. When I went on my first long ride, one of my first long rides, it was Russell led this.
You're an idiot.
It was a long ride. What was it? It was 60 miles, probably 60 plus miles. And we did,
56.
Those hillies.
was that what Strava said?
56 and 5,400 feet of climbing.
5,400 feet of climbing. It was a suffer fest. And it was pretty good. And I asked one of my fellow riders, I'm a noob. I'm probably the newer rider amongst the group.
Gullible.
And I asked him what I should bring on a group ride. And he told me to bring a hard-boiled egg. And I thought, that sounds like a good thing to eat. I'll bring a hard-boiled egg. So I did bring a hard-boiled egg, and I had it in my jersey.
Salting it with your sweat the entire duration of the ride.
And when I got to the
What was that egg in?
it was in its shell.
It was in the jersey.
That's what I was.
Yeah, it was in the jersey.
There was no plastic
there was
bag
no-
around said egg.
Yeah, it wasn't in a plastic bag. It was in its shell. Egg has its own bag.
Like a banana.
It's shell bag. Yeah, you don't have to put. Yeah, you don't put a banana in another bag, do you?
So it didn't get messy and weird?
So, but yes, it got messy and weird.
Oh, okay.
When we got to the gas station, around the time my friend Trevor was
No. Your
story?
That was the lucky egg.
okay.
And then when you cracked it, you made me flip over while I was trying to show off for girls.
Trevor was doing wheelies for the ladies that were at the.
I was trying to make sure that wheel was,
But he fell down. But anyway, it's not a. Yeah, he flipped over,
okay.
hurt himself.
Because you just
My egg, I didn't destroy it. It destroyed itself in my bag. I pulled it out. There was just egg debris, and
no.
and that's-
you didn't do this.
oh yeah, I unzipped. I took the shirt off, and I
And then you went into the gas station like Borat.
yeah.
It's just the bibs.
I did.
Do you have a restroom?
And then you're like, there's egg in Jersey.
My wife.
My friends, they told me bring an egg.
My friends did tell me to bring an egg, and I brought an egg.
It's part of the story.
They
started looking at him. He's all like, "Oh,
there's egg coming out.
I didn't know you took your top off.
Yeah, I took my top off.
Okay.
It was hard to get back on. Those tops are wet after 40 miles. It was like,
let it dry and everything." He's just
yeah, boy.
I was like, you're gonna get the cops called on this, man.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Well, he was doing wheelies. He figured it was a distraction. I'm like, there was egg everywhere.
Okay.
But, I ate some of it.
Okay.
I ate some of it.
There was a guy on a motorcycle dragging me through the pumps. There was Porsche drivers like revving the engines, and then a whole group of girls on motorcycles pulled up and everything. I was just like,
They're nice.
I'm the only one in spandex out of all of us, so I'm gonna go over to the pump, act like I have to put gas in my bike, and I'm a wheelie away. But my hand was wet, and as soon as I went to grab the back brake, it slipped off, and so I just
Busted in front of those ladies, y'all.
So you actually went. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hijack this, but I need to get some clarity.
Yeah, get it.
So you actually went through the miming of the gas before you flipped.
oh, yeah.
So you did that. There was a lot of buildup
I
to
had
this.
full attention.
Okay, everyone's looking,
everyone
and
was
then
like, "Are you okay?" And I was just like, "I just want to let y'all know I'm."
No, he's
so
not there yet. Yeah, you did the whole thing before the wheelie.
No, that's what he just.
yeah, that's like he pretended to put gas. in his
He got
bicycle.
the attention of the whole gas station.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I made sure to do it right. I had the setup and everything. I just didn't anticipate my hands to be wet.
Yeah. Well, that's risk reward,
And
right?
it broken that lucky egg.
Yeah, the egg. Okay.
It was an egg extravaganza at the gas station that day.
Ooh.
Huh?
And then, of course, all the girls were like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I was just like, "Please don't talk to me. Don't even remember what I."
Well,
looked
hold
like."
on. There's two ways to get chicks. Well, there's more than two. Obviously, there's a plethora, but
One is you have an egg.
Medically,
It hatches into a chick.
medically is not the way.
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, one way is like you do something, extraordinary feat of strength or of some kind of like
I had so much
circus
torque.
trick. The other is like you hurt yourself.
torque, I flipped myself.
They want
Twist
to.
the
They want to fix a wound,
brain
hurt,
circle.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the details of the ride.
They could have wanted to fix you.
There's a lot that happened on this ride. I'm really sorry I missed this in person.
Yeah, we would have liked having you.
Yeah.
But
So what's your favorite?
that was the
snack?
last
We're
time.
talking about the trauma snacks. What's
That
your
was the-
favorite snack?
That was the last time I brought an egg.
Yes.
I won't bring them anymore. And that's also the last time I'll ask folks on the ride what they bring on rides because I just use my eyes now.
Yeah.
Because when you ask them, they're not going to give you a reasonable response.
No.
I looked up on Reddit and it was like, well, you just bring sketty. That's spaghetti for everybody who doesn't know what sketty is.
Don't do that.
Yeah, just sketty in the jersey. Just pull out. Tom was saying we just get a long noodle and just have one noodle you suck like Lady and the Tramp for like half a mile. One noodle.
Sucking a long noodle on the ride does sound
Trevor.
bad.
Trevor. End of interview. Anyway, I like to bring a unique snack because I want to make Trevor happy. So every time I ride, I try to bring something new, something that'll be fun and playful. Because it's not just about riding hard; it's about having fun. So I brought banana bread one time. Oh, one of our second rides, I brought raw. Remember okra? I was asking if he wanted to have some okra.
Weird.
He passed on the okra.
It's on every snack that's coming out of one of your pockets because I don't know if it's been sheathed from the sweat.
Sheathed?
Yeah.
Oh, in a satchel, in a sack.
Yeah.
The okras come in their own sack. It's okra skin.
Nope.
Anyway, he didn't share the okra with me. I brought bananas. Those are more common on rides. I think bananas. I've brought sweet potatoes is kind of what I'm liking now. I like to bring a good sweet potato, and I've run out of Ziploc bags, but I have a dog, so I've been using the dog poop bags. I've been using the poop bags. They're perfect little bags for carrying stuff.
New ones.
New ones.
Okay. You're
Not used ones. I'm
reusing.
not reusing them.
You're not that frugal.
Not that frugal. Don't put it past me, It's just a little poop.
Rinsed them out.
I'm out of bags, but I got a dog. So the correlation's there. You put it together.
I use the poop bags to carry my sweet taters, okay?
Okay, move on to your butt nuggets. Yes.
I don't like this. Trevor calls, I have dried apricots,
Yes.
which the subreddit said was a very good ride snack because it has a high amount of sugar and there's carbs and stuff. And Trevor's calling them butt nuggets. I don't like that.
Well, if you put them in the dog bags, they probably would look more appropriate.
They're not butt nuggets. They are dried apricots.
Go to Russell.
Trevor, I've got other snacks to talk about here. I did this whole thing for me.
yeah. This is like set up my line. Yeah.
Hold your horses.
Well, go to
Liz brought me some sardines, anchovies in that can, and I haven't figured out how to eat them yet. They're still sitting on my kitchen table, but I will.
Dude on Sunday brought a spork with him to be able to eat his canned calamari.
Calamari.
What?
No, I sent you the picture of the dude that's eating canned calamari.
No, you didn't send me that picture.
That's kind of beating you out there.
He is beating me out.
You have a Hills ride, so you get about 6.
We all have a Hills ride. It's Wednesday, y'all, and on tomorrow morning, Rusty over here is going to lead us on a Hills ride. So we're going to wrap it up soon. We're going to wrap it up soon.
Favorite snack? Favorite snack?
Okay, I think sweet tater is probably my favorite snack now, but I do like the banana bread was good. I got the EF. I got this team EF. I found their
This one, last one, too.
their banana bread recipe. It's a team,
yeah.
and I've been making it. It's pretty good. I got it from another rider.
Yep.
Okay, so I think that's enough for me. What about you?
I think like it ties into like my favorite kinds of rides as well. I like getting myself into a point where I'm in trouble. So like my favorite snacks are like I don't have any food. I ran out of food. I ran out of water. I've been riding out in the sun for like 10 miles. And then I get into the gas station and then just like whatever my instinct wants to grab, whether that's like a Mountain Dew and like a thing of Haribo, or if it's like a Crunch Bar, or if it's like whatever like my gut tells me in that moment after going through some hardship is what I enjoy. And I think like my favorite kind of rides are the ones where like I go a little bit too far and I push myself a little bit too hard and I didn't prepare quite as much as I needed to if I wanted to be comfortable. And so I'm like a little bit discomfortable. My legs are screaming. And it's the same thing with food. So like, but the best food is just like, I'm really, really, really hungry. And then you end up in a place that happens to have a bunch of stuff. And then it's all good.
Yeah, Bike Daddy fed me chewy granola bars for my first couple rides.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "How much do you need anything today?" I'm like, "I don't know. No, did you bring anything on the ride? I don't think so." Like, eat
Let me
this.
check my backpack.
Let me check my backpack. Yeah, I got like hand me chewy
I got some okra. Yeah, well, you were like eating these like dried nuts.
Oh yeah, I was eating dried nuts.
And I'm like, that will.
Anything? Huh?
Aren't all nuts dry?
Dried nuts.
Is there
As
wet
opposed to wet nuts.
Trevor, this is you're on.
You got 4 minutes.
All right.
Matt?
But I mean, like nuts are good for you, but the time it takes for you to digest that and turn it into sugar, which then gets converted into glycogen, which your legs can use for fuel, is a really long period of time. And so you can eat nuts on a ride, and then like 6 hours later, it's like, oh, my legs feel better. So like, no point.
What's the point? Yeah.
Carbs, immediate release of sugar. That's what you need. Your legs need sugar in order to like contract the muscles. Everything gets converted into sugar anyway. Eat sugar.
If you're on our ride and you didn't bring anything, there's a good chance Bike Daddy's got some of those chewy granola bars in his jersey.
But he pays for them, so pay him back.
It's fine.
Okay, Matt?
Coffee.
Yeah.
I mean,
Coffee.
I mean, let's just be honest. Like, if,
That doesn't eat.
yeah,
You don't eat on the rides?
I'm trying to get better about it. My stomach doesn't agree with having a lot of food on the rides. I've never liked that. I'll eat. I've learned that I do better eating a bigger meal enough time out before a ride. On a real long ride, yeah, I don't think you can beat Fig Newtons. I mean, that's one of my favorite foods to start with. Oatmeal cream pies also. I love those from gas stations.
Little Debbie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the good
But,
super cake, middle of ride.
Swiss rolls.
But usually, yeah, I will stop anytime on any ride for coffee.
Yeah.
At any time. 2 miles in, 20 miles in, 15 times during a ride, doesn't matter. It's kind of tough in the summertime. You don't really have the same feel. But, you know, like kind of a cold winter ride where you got some warmers on, you got a vest on. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I could ride between coffee shops all day long and then twitch my way all the way to the end of the ride. But I am, Russell mentioned some of the more modern nutrition ideas about fueling a lot more during rides. So I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to take on more, carbohydrates during the ride just to see how it feels, and get my stomach used to that. But yeah, I think we mentioned earlier, I used to do a lot of 24-hour racing, and you sort of get to a point where you eat whatever your stomach can tolerate, and you can't just do goose. I mean, nothing is less appetizing than energy food after like 12 hours on a bike. I mean, you can't, like, you want peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and pizza.
Uncrustables.
And yeah, anything that feels like regular food. And you just kind of learn what's good for your stomach. So, you're kind of on a journey too, figuring out like, what to eat during a ride. The harder you ride and the longer you ride, you'll start figuring out like what your body does well with. I used to ride with a guy, and I ate some of these too, but his favorite fuel was those orange circus peanuts, those sponge.
Yeah.
He loved those. He absolutely loved any ride. He would just have a whole pack of those in his pocket. I don't know, if I had that much sugar on a ride, I would feel terrible.
But I feel like doing a ride like only on coffee is like trying to drive a car where the starter motor is just like turning the crank.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So you're never quite in gear.
Yeah. The sleep deprivation that I embrace in my life necessitates a level of caffeine that's probably unhealthy for humans, and I recognize that, and I embrace that, as my dogma.
You'll be happy to know that I think like macro doses of caffeine are actually like, I saw some study that was like they're highly correlated with like longevity and like putting off Alzheimer's. More caffeine you drink, the better.
Well, we'll definitely find out.
Yeah. Test case 1, Matt.
Yes. Sample size 1.
I used to not drink caffeine at all because I have ADHD and I have a lot of energy. I'm hyperactive in general, but I've found that caffeine on rides have been helpful. Like if I'm gonna move my body for another 30, 25 miles, like caffeine's fine. I think it's when I take caffeine and then I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I need to actually give that caffeine a place to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, for anyone watching who wants to over caffeinate themselves, it is really critical if you're riding on a lot of caffeine to hydrate the hell out of yourself.
Yeah.
So, you can't survive on caffeine alone. You also need water, and then that's it. That's all you need.
Yeah. All right, Phil, put a button on it.
Yeah, we got to put a button on this because we got a hill ride in the morning.
Yep.
We're all up past our bedtime.
It's a patty cake here, and we got to break all this stuff down. So this has been Phil Phails at Cycling here at the bike shop in Austin, Texas. Our bicycle. What'd I say?
Do it again. Take it again.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Take it again. Take 2.
My bad, James. This has been Phil Phails at Cycling at the Bicycle House in Austin, Texas. And we've been talking about bicycles, bike culture, all kind of stuff. My guests today have been Tom, James, Trevor, I'm the host, Russell, and Tynan. And
Comma Matt.
I'm Matt. Everybody calls you Tynan.
Yeah, it's good.
There's a lot of maps.
Yeah, there are.
The route hound.
Trevor calls him the Route Hound.
I've heard that.
Call him Bike Daddy. Do you have a nickname?
Bring it on, man.
Does Tom have a nickname?
Thomason. Handsome Tom.
Handsome Tom. I like it. He's a handsome man.
No, it
It was given to him by a customer.
was given to him by
A lady customer?
No.
No.
It was a customer with very limited knowledge of the
Just
English
came
language.
here from Korea.
Oh, okay.
It was Vietnam, but
Whatever.
that's
But
yeah.
he was trying to say thank you, and he said, "You're so handsome." You're so handsome. I was like, "You are handsome Tom."
Handsome Tom. This has been Phil Phails.
Trevor
Cycles.
Made me a t-shirt, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
If you're in Austin, Texas, come ride with us on Saturdays at 7 a.m. If you're in Austin, Texas, if you have a bike and you need it serviced, come bring it in. These guys will make it as good as new or do as close as they can to perfection on that bike. If you need a bike, you can come in and they'll build you.
For money. For money.
Yeah, for money, obviously.
Hey, man.
You need to have a budget. If you don't have a budget, you're going to have to come on a bunch of group rides and make a bunch of friends.
We need your support.
But
So that way
But they're fueled by money. So buy one with cash
There is
No, we
there is
just
energy.
would like.
And if you want like people to like consult on like building the best bike that you'll ever have in your life, like the bike of your dreams, like these are the people who can make it happen. Like,
Yeah.
if there's been a bike that you've been dreaming about since you were a kid and you want like the people to like find all those esoteric parts that you saw in a vision when you were 12 and you didn't know it was real, these guys can find it for you and put together the best bike that you've ever seen.
That's true. I've seen those bikes. They're hanging behind me. That's probably blurry back there because of depth of field, but trust me, they're back there and they're awesome.
They do amazing, gorgeous work. Yeah. So stoked to help out with the shop and so glad that this place is here.
Yeah, me too. So anything y'all want to do or say in conclusion
Go
to the
home.
Sleep.
time we have?
Yeah, we got hills in the morning.
Naps.
We got hills in the morning.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to thank your viewers for considering cycling.
Thanks.
Spandex is cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's really comfortable.
And you look good in it. You look good in it.
You know what's weird? Because I'm going to be the first one to watch this, even though I got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna see it first.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I edited. I'll spend like a week editing this. Well, probably not gonna edit much. Anyway. Anything else you want to say, Trevor? Wrap it up.
Just like little sound bites that can be edited with the rest of the.
No, I'm not gonna edit much of this. It's gonna just roll pretty much.
Tom hasn't seen the movie Grandma's Boy, so put hate in the comments for Tom.
You haven't seen Grandma's Boy?
What is he?
Come on, it's classic. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, thanks y'all for watching the show.
All right.
Yeah, peace.
Good night.
Boom. Mic drop.